New shows, new hosts. You're tuned into LE Radio, your online community exchange for trending news, entertainment, and sizzling interviews on various topics. We feature independent music. Get your music in rotation by emailing music@leradio.org. We talk about social issues, culture norms, and diversity, health and welfare, fashion trends, and more. Make sure to subscribe to us at www.leradio.org for shows and times. Follow us on Facebook, IG, and Twitter at Let's Elegance Radio. Be a guest on our show. Email the show at leradio.org.
Punany love. Every day is Valentine's Day. Punany love. Bring a lover, some friends, and come on out to play. Order tickets on your cell phone. Learn a few tricks you can take home. The perfect date night. Ooh, PunanyLove.com.
Revolution, power to the people. Revolution, power to the people. Say, sister, how much is it gonna cost you to lend me your ear? Brother man, what's the price for me to share a slice of my life over this mic? And just how many revolutions I got to start to keep the applause coming? How long they gonna keep the padlock on my panties before they grant me the right to heal myself like Tupac? I wanna chill myself with vicarious life of poetic song. Like Sonia, I write. Like Sonia, I do so I won't have to kill.
Hello. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's going on, but you're tuned into LE Radio, and I need to find out what's going on here. So how y'all doing tonight, Gina?
We're fine. I'm doing good.
I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Huh? What's going on?
We out. So, yeah.
I can hear y'all. I just turned y'all headphones down.
We're fine. We're fine. We're sitting here looking at each other like, what's going on?
I had no idea what just happened. That was so not cool. So I just like, okay, let me just stop this. I had no idea what just happened. So that I don't know, but we're gonna try to come back and play that in a minute. But again, let me see what's going on here, because you're tuned in to Last Elegance Radio. I'm your host, Don, and I hope everybody had a good week. I'm here today, and I'm joined with Brittany and Gina Boo. And this week's topic is going to be colorisms. You are pretty for a dark-skinned girl. My light skin comes with benefits. So that's the show topic for the night. And again, I apologize. I don't know what was just going on at the beginning of this. We all sitting here. We all confused and sitting here looking at each other. And I test this every time before every show. So I'm not sure what happened, and I apologize for that technical difficulty. I guess, shit happens. But right now I'm going to go ahead on, and I'm going to turn this mic over to Brittany. Let her give you events, Black Boy, and what's coming up.
Hello, everybody. Hi. Okay, so we have quite a bit coming up. So just to let you know, for our event Black Boy, we have our first event with the Punany Poets. We have the Valentine's Day tour. So we're going to be in so many different shows. So the first one we have is The Secret of the Pearl, which is The Secret of the Pearl is a sexy show that's filled with music, poetry, dance, and a lot of love. So come and explore your curiosity and discover the precious secret of this theatrical romantic comedy show for lesbians and women who love women. So the first show is going to be in Los Angeles, which is February 13th at the 8 p.m. show. Then we have San Francisco on the 14th. That's a 9 p.m. show. Seattle is going to be on the 15th, which is a 9 p.m. show as well. Then we have Macon, Georgia on the 16th, which is a Friday. And then Atlanta, Georgia on the 17th, which is a Saturday. So we have those shows coming up. So please get your tickets as soon as possible before they sell out and everything like that, okay? So the next show is the School of Seduction. So class is in session, and the Punany Poets is teaching the ABCs of love in Jessica Holter's School of Seduction this Valentine's Day season. Maha, how do you pronounce her last name?
Just say Maha.
Okay,
That's
Maha. Sorry,
is
I
fine.
apologize, Maha. Maha takes the lead in this hyper-romantic cabaret with music, poetry, dance, and audience role play. And I'm telling you, she gets it in. So Maha is like a genius, so you definitely have to come to this show as well. So we got 4 shows for that. One at Virginia Beach, which is actually going to be the Valentine's with Punany Poets, School of Seduction. So we have that one. We have in Atlanta on the 14th, which is 8 p.m. We're going to be in Philly, February 16th at 10 p.m. And then in New York City, New York, it's going to be February the 17th at 10 p.m. So just to let you know, this weekend, tonight, midnight tonight is the last night that you can get these discount tickets. After this, you're going to be paying full price. So you might want to, if you get something for your boo, you might need to get it now. Otherwise, it's discounted because after tonight,
After
no
tonight,
more.
that is it. After tonight at midnight, no more discounts. That is it.
Right. So, and then last but certainly not least, we have Jessica Holter's The Head Doctor Show. Now, this one right here, you definitely want to be a part of this one. So, just to quote her, she said, after 23 years in this business of love, I have learned that people will tell you absolutely anything if they feel that you will not judge them. And this is the founder of the Punany Poets, y'all. And she's bringing her most popular romantic comedy show to an intimate audience for lovers and friends. So I'm telling you, you're not going to want to miss this one. So this one, she actually has quite a few dates open for this one. So we're going to start with Los Angeles, which is the West Coast, where I'm from. Watch that.
Okay.
LA. My peoples, y'all got to come and buy them tickets. Okay, so the Head Doctor Show will be there January 27th. So it's not far away. January 27th in Los Angeles. Oakland. She's going to be in Oakland pretty much all weekend, showing Oaktown so much love in the Yay area. So that's going to be Thursday, February 1st. You have a 9 p.m. show. Friday, February 2nd, a 10 p.m. show. And Saturday, February 3rd, a 10 p.m. show as well. And then she's flying all the way to Gary, Indiana to show y'all some love in Gary, because y'all did show us love last time. That's going to be February 7th at 8 p.m. So then she's going to be down in Columbus, Ohio. I know y'all got to show her love in Ohio, because I know how Ohio get down with that. So so you got to come out February 8th at 5 p.m. Then you got Nashville, Tennessee over here. Yes, on February 9th at that 9 p.m. Then New Orleans. I'm going to have to be there for the New Orleans show. Like, I'm going to have to go and visit y'all, because I need to see how that goes. That's going to be February 10th at 9 p.m. Then we got Dallas, Texas. Now, the Dallas, Texas show is sold out. However, you can text to be on the waiting list. Okay, so be sure to text that number for the waiting list. Can I have the number one more time?
510.
Text that if you want to be added to the waiting list for that Dallas, Texas show. And that Dallas, Texas show is February 11th at 6:30 p.m. Then we're going to go over to D.C. area. Ooh, Chocolate City, honey. So we're going to Chocolate City on February 15th at 8 p.m. And then we're going to Chi-Town, of course. We got to go to Chirac over there February 17th at 7:30. So please, 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 again, this is the last night for discounted tickets. So you have until midnight tonight to get these tickets, or else there will be no more. You will have to pay full price.
Exactly.
Either way, it'll be a good show, though. So, I mean, we love if you want to play full price. That's awesome. Thank you. We appreciate that. But, I mean, if you want to get the discount, go ahead and do that, too. So, just to also add on to the end, if you would like to be on LE Radio's Blackboard email, please email me at theshow@leradio.org. Okay, and also be sure to go to our like pages on Facebook. That is Les Elegance Radio and the Punany Poets. Just go ahead and like. That way, all these announcements that I'm bringing to you are on that as well. So.
Right, and you could get those tickets on Eventbrite.
Yes.
Just go to Eventbrite and type in the Punany Poets Valentine Day Tour. And like Brittany said, it's on Facebook under the Punany Poets. You could go to IG to the Punany Poets, but it's not on there. You can follow them on IG, though, if you want to.
Yes.
And if you're following LE Radio on IG, it's LE Radio 2010, and on Twitter, it's LE Radio 2010.
Yes.
But on Facebook, it's spelled out Les Elegance Radio. I had to spell it out because my other page got hacked. My feelings still hurt. Remember, Gina? I remember. Page. I took all that time building that page up. Over 10,000 followers on there. I mean, it took years to build it up.
That page
some
was
French
went away.
Yeah, some French. It's still there. Some French chick took it and turned it into something else, but I can't even get our pictures or anything off. Wow. So now I got to start all over. So because I had somebody go to the page and they was like, you don't have that many followers. Like, hey, that's just a number on there. My other page got hacked by some French chick out in the UK somewhere, some white chick.
Out in the UK.
Right.
Yeah, I called Gina. We was all trying to figure it out. It was saying that we deleted each other, but then it turned out after I investigated, some French chick out in the UK. If you listening to the show, you know you was bogus. But anyway, go on, Brittany.
Right. So we got all that. So yes, like all the pages on the Punany Poets and then Les Elegance Radio on Facebook. Again, those tickets are on Eventbrite, and tonight, midnight tonight, is the last time you can get the discounted ticket. So please, please, please go out there and get those tickets. And please, these shows, every single one of these shows are amazing. So you definitely have to come. So without further ado, I'm actually going to switch it over to Miss Gina Boo over here for the Community Spotlight.
Hello, everyone. This is Gina. I'm bringing you the...
You got to get by that mic.
This is Gina. Bringing you the Community Activist Spotlight. And we're going to acknowledge our Chicago's very own Jackie Anderson. Jackie Anderson, who passed away on January 7th of 2018. Jackie Anderson was a blessing to the LGBT community who helped launch the Lesbian Community Clinic. She was also president of Pow Wow and in a club called Stud for Life under the leadership of Wanda B. She also was indicted into Chicago LGBT Hall of Fame. Anderson will truly be missed, and our prayers are with her family and her friends.
Absolutely.
Okay, I want to play this track. I'm kind of nervous because I don't know what just happened a second ago, but this is called Blood Lover, and it's by our guest, Jessica, that's going to come on later on in the show for that amazing interview. So I'm going to play it, but I'm telling y'all, if it start acting crazy, I'm going to go off because I don't know what's going on, because we just sat here and did mic checks and all kind of checks before we came on, and then we get on live and she want to act up. She don't want to play the right. So anyway, let's see what she going to do. Let me see if she going to act right. Okay, it's looking like she want to act right. This is Blood Lover by Jessica Holter.
Baby, take me in your arms. I want to, baby, be forever yours. Black as night, consuming my soul. I used to be afraid, I used to be alone. I'd cut me to the bone to die too soon. Beneath the crimson moon, you ravished all my fear and swept me away on wings of fire. Blood lover, you've become my true desire. Take me, baby, take me in your arms. I want to, baby, be forever. The world can't comprehend us. We are creatures of the night. I flourish in your darkness. I don't want the light. Won't you vamp the blackened skies with me? My throbbing life will feed. Bear your immortal seed. I want to live forever
Take what I am given freely. I am bending to your will. I want to live forever, baby. Be the crimson river. If you take me.
You're live with LE Radio Entourage.
Alrighty. I guess it decided to act right. I guess she decided to act right because, like I said a minute ago, we all was just sitting here looking at each other like we was crazy. Like, what's going on? Huh? You don't hear you?
No.
I can hear you. I don't know, but I hear you. I don't know
know
what's going on today, but I can hear you. You got to put your mic close, your mouth closer to that mic. I know that much. And you can't be leaning back chilling.
I can't laugh because I do that all the time, to be honest with you. Like,
Yeah, she leaning back
I
trying
be on
to.
that like quiet storm, so I be over here trying to, sound all good and stuff.
Yeah, this ain't no quiet storm, so I ain't no over here trying to sound all sexy and stuff, Gina. Well, you ain't close enough because I don't see no bars when you move, and so I don't know. There you go. Say something.
I'm okay. There you go. Something is going on
Ain't
today.
nothing going on today.
Yes,
Ain't
it's
nothing
a conspiracy over
Is
me.
it a conspiracy? I don't know what's going on with Gina today, but she gonna get it together before the night's over. You have sleep or what? She gonna get it together. She finna wake up in a minute because she finna start going in on somebody with this topic that we got. Yeah, today we talking about colorisms, and that's internalized racism. I'm sorry. Is basically prejudice or discrimination. Ooh, stop moving this mic while I'm talking about them against individuals with dark skin tone, typically among people of the same ethnic groups. Is very common in the black community. Within the black culture, being called red bone is considered a compliment, while being called dark skin is considered derogatory. Unfortunately, skin color plays a huge role in the concept of beauty, especially within the media. In these videos, they have these light-skinned chicks with these fake booties, these fake booties, fake tits, now the fake eyebrows, the unibrows, but it's just not cool. But it's very common. It's common and it happen in any culture, but it's very extremely common in the black culture.
Very common in our culture.
In our culture, and it extends way back to the house nigga slavery thing with the house nigga. If you light skinned, you in the house.
Right.
If you dark skinned, you outside in the shed up under a tree.
Oh God.
Yeah. So it extends back to that, and I really don't know what to say. I haven't really experienced that because I consider myself color neutral. Brittany color neutral. We like in the middle.
You would think that, but no, I've actually experienced it on both ends. Far as
I have with one person that I dated, but cause we still like color neutral.
I think you all are color neutral.
No,
color neutral.
that is not
Yeah,
my
people be
experience,
calling me light skinned, but I say I'm color neutral because I'm more common complected. I don't consider myself light skinned.
Well, yeah, but you are.
Yeah, I don't.
But see, in my experience, no, I've both sides, but that's because of the culture that I come from and my family and everything else, especially when you're dealing like with Latin culture, especially.
Yeah.
So like, whereas normally I would be considered like, I guess, color neutral or dark in my family, because a lot of them are lighter than me.
Well, mine's all mixed up.
So, so I'm, considered, morena, like with them, but out in the world, in the United States, I'm dark. I'm black. I'm nothing else but that. So
We're all black.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
For me, I just feel like, we're all black. But
Yeah,
again,
exactly.
colorism is internalized racism, and it's very common in our community. And
It is. I've experienced it.
you want to share that experience?
Throughout my whole life. I've experienced me being the complexion that I am. Particular one person I was interested in. And we were vibing each other. We were feeling each other and everything. And all of a sudden they dropped a bomb and they said, I don't date dark-skinned women. And I'm sitting there like, what? And then she say, well, don't take offense because my mom is dark.
So you sound even more stupid. Like,
And I thought I was sitting here like, so you could be missing out on something good because of my skin tone? And that really blew me. But if I wasn't a strong black woman, it could have messed with my self-esteem. But I've dealt with it throughout my whole life. I've gotten into it with a good friend. And the first thing she said was, with your black,
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there like, well, what does that have
Stop
to do?
trying to look at Brittany and talking that mic.
Am I talking in the mic? So I'm sitting there like, what is up with people attacking me with my skin tone? And I think my skin tone is beautiful. I think it's very beautiful. But a lot of people do not, and they will attack it. When they're trying to attack me, they'll go with my skin tone.
wow.
Yes.
That's the first thing that they go after.
That's the first thing they go after.
See, you know what? And my thing is, on my end, people won't talk to me because of my skin tone. Because they're
Yes.
like, oh, well, you light, so you probably stuck up and bougie. That's what I get. And coupled with the eye color, that's even worse. So, like, I get it. They'll be like, no, I know. This one particular person told me that they saw me at an event a year before we had met the second time. They saw me, looked at me, and just assumed that I was bougie and stuck up. So they were like, nah, I'm not getting ready to talk to her because she looked like she mean as hell. Like, that's what they told me.
Wow.
And then a year later, they met me, and they're like, oh, well, you're actually pretty cool. I'm like, so I don't even want to be your friend now that you just told me that, because we could have been hanging out. And because you saw what I looked like, you were like, no, you made a snap judgment about me based upon that.
I think dark, not saying nothing wrong with you guys' complexion or anybody's complexion, but I really actually think dark is exotic. I do. I think if you
I think it's beautiful.
I think it's gorgeous. It's you could see the pigments, yes, in the skin and the redness in the skin. But people we've been accustomed to that light is beautiful. You take a little girl, and they've done this study where they've taken the little girl and they've put her with the white doll and the black doll, and she chooses the white doll because she thinks it's beautiful. And it's not. I've seen mixed kids, and not all of them are pretty. Not all of them are pretty.
That's true.
Not all mixed.
I've seen them, and then one of my friends, well, she's Caucasian. I don't know if they're in this too, but we went out for her birthday a couple of weeks ago, and we took her to a bar, and she likes African American men. Her kids are African American.
Right.
We went to the bar, and I'm telling you, they flocked to her.
You said she was dark skinned and they flocked?
No, she's Caucasian. And they flocked to her. Not that I wanted them to flock to me. Right. I'm just saying. That was cool.
Right.
But me and Dion was sitting there, and I'm sitting there watching the atmosphere, how they all
So she was
flocked.
a full-bred Caucasian.
Uh-huh.
From the
Okay, do y'all know that how white people got here, right? Y'all know they are.
They came down from the mountain.
No, they are.
Okay, Cat Williams.
No, scientists say that they are mutants of black people.
Science experiment.
That everybody started off originally in Africa.
Yes.
In black, Africa and black, and then somebody had a little baby. And it was a little white baby or whatever. But anyway, they are mutants of us. And then as they came, they migrated to the European area. And that's to those countries. And that's how the white people came. But white people came from black people. Like, we are the dominant. And I guess that's why they're saying if you mix with black, you black. But we are the dominant race.
We are the dominant race.
And the scientist was, I can't remember which scientist it was, but even the first person on Earth was not a man; it was a female.
Right, Lucy, I think they called her.
It was a female. Was the first?
Really?
It was
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because women actually at one point were able to procreate asexually. Women, that's why we have our clit is considered a penis. Women used to be able to until men were developed, and we lost that ability. Due to evolution.
That's a whole nother show.
That's
a whole nother show. Cause I'm sitting here like, y'all telling me everything I've ever learned is wrong?
No, we're not.
Not saying that is okay. Okay.
Not saying it's wrong, but the first body, the first person on Earth was a female. It was not a male. It was a female.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a female.
And you're right. When it comes, I can see that. Okay.
So that's it.
But with the colorism thing, it is a big deal, especially in other countries. Like in Latin countries, we had a perfect example of that with Love and Hip Hop Miami with Amara La Negra talking to a Spanish producer and him basically telling her, "I need you to look more like Beyonce, J-Lo, and less like Macy Gray," because she was beautiful black, beautiful.
And he did not see the beauty in her.
No, because she's darker. She has a fro. She loves her fro. She embraces her curls. Everything. She's a beautiful. And he was like, "Well, no, people need like cookie cutter." And she was like, "Look, not all Latinas look like Sofia Vergara and Jennifer Lopez. Some of them look like me."
They do.
Exactly.
They do.
Cecilia Cruz. She wasn't light skinned. You know what I'm saying? So it's
she wasn't.
But especially, and then in India, it's even worse.
And they're just as dark as we are.
Yeah. In India, it's even worse to the point, especially in like South American countries like Brazil and everything, they don't even have dark-skinned people on television. So that inbreeds that colorism because you grow up as a child never seeing somebody that looks like you on TV.
That's true. And I kind of like the show. I think it was a show called My Black is Beautiful or something like that. But I wanted to see if something like the darker tone people.
Right.
Because we are beautiful. And I think sometimes it can be a jealousy thing too. Yeah. Because we age differently also. Because people ask me my age and they just cannot believe it. We age different than lighter people.
Because of the melanin.
But it's just the melanin. But even if you go back, and I know everybody is familiar with Spike Lee School Days.
Yes.
Look how they did
the Jigaboos.
Yes. Look at how they did that. With who was that? Pam? Not Pam. Well, she was in there.
Tisha
Campbell. Yeah, light skin with the weave and they in the hallway. Even with the men, it was that was a good story. I love Spike Lee. Sometimes he's out there with his stuff, but
very much so.
Yeah, sometimes he's out there because I'm still not feeling the movie he made about Chicago. Like, how can you make a movie about a city you do not live in? I've seen bits and pieces
either. I've never seen it, but
how can you make a movie about a city you know nothing about? You was not born and raised there. You know nothing about that. Then I'm not understanding.
It was the media.
But probably. He lost me with that with the last movie he made. Yeah. But his movie School Days is a good example of colorism and racism or internalized racism in the black community. A really good one. I did experience it before, but it was the opposite. Mm-hmm. The young lady that was interested in me was dark skinned. So she tried to guilt me into dating her because she was dark skinned. She was like, Oh, so I'm guessing you don't want to go out with me because I've been following you and I've been knowing you for a minute. I've known her for a while.
She didn't play that card.
It's like every time I see you,
Wow.
you know, everybody I know you've been with was red bones. And so because I wasn't interested in her, so she tried to guilt me to say I was not interested in her. She was like, won't you just be honest and say you don't like dark-skinned women? I said, because that's not the truth. I said, you know, and I'm looking at her, and I'm like, you don't want to go there. Your skin complexion has nothing to do with me not being attracted to you. But she kept on, and like I told y'all on the last show, I'm an upfront person. If you keep pushing me, I'm gonna tell you exactly where you stand and how I feel. So when she went there, I had to let her know maybe it's the unibrow that you just drew across your forehead, or maybe it's the bad weave that you're wearing where I could see the track in your head that says nappy, and then you got this Brazilian whatever they call it on the top.
Got that wine cellar,
yeah,
right?
Maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe it's the fact that your fingernails are not done, that you need a manicure because you're missing some polish, got chip polish on your hand. Or maybe it's the fact of those shoes that you're wearing where the bottom is talking because the tongue of it is flapping. Like, don't use skin complexion, sweetheart. It has nothing to do with your skin complexion. You know, go and have all these, and I'm not shallow.
After you just named everything,
She named everything that could possibly be wrong. Why I will not date you, but it's definitely not your skin tone.
Hey, it was not her skin tone. It was not her skin tone. I done ran across how yellow, like you said earlier, that was not attractive. I ran across some that was how yellow had a face look like a road map. She had a whole bunch of these big red pimples, something in her face. And again, people, I'm not shallow, but this young lady tried to guilt me into dating her. Like, no, that your skin complexion has nothing to do with it. But if she would have fixed those things, she was not unattractive woman, but she had all this extra stuff going on that she thought made her attractive, and it did not. So,
you know, and dark skinned women get a lot of flack. We do. Because I think it's very insulting when people tell me, when they do tell me, you're so pretty to be a dark-skinned woman. As if we could not, we cannot be pretty. And we cannot be beautiful. There are some really beautiful dark-skinned women. I wish I could meet y'all. But
but it goes back to even in jobs, people you know, would say that I had somebody who was just a friend, not on a dating aspect. But since my Army days, like when I'm working, I'm always in management. And she just recently, and that's why when you was talking about what we could talk about, I had told you I was already like headed toward this because I had, you know, I went over the drive to get my CDL, and I had been with the company, like 6-7 months, and then I got promoted to the manager. She felt like that had to do with my skin complexion.
But wait a minute, sometimes it is, because depending on the company, I've seen it where someone has gotten hired because they were lighter. It's like, you're dark and I really don't want to see you. But if you're a certain complexion, I can deal with it. I know you're not white, but I can deal with you with your skin tone. It does happen.
It happens, but then when she was saying it, the internalized racism kind of stood up, because 80% of the people I work with is black. The people who promoted me to the position are black. So I'm sitting up there like I don't think that that's a factor in it. How come it couldn't be my experience or my background? Why did my skin complexion have to do with it?
Right.
And she was like, oh, because I've been doing she's been driving, and I forget what company she drive for, but she's been driving for years. She has had her CDL, I believe, for like 4 years. And I told her that maybe it's the company you work for. That like,
right.
And it could be. It could be. Yeah, it could be.
You have the experience doesn't mean I want to deal with you every
right.
day.
And she said, it's been like that since I've known you, and I just feel like you move up quicker in your positions because of your skin complexion.
Or maybe it's my work ethic. It could be a lot of other things other than that.
Right. So I totally did not. Ooh, shit. I totally did not agree with that.
No, because I think that's a cop-out. Now, I did recently, last year, sometime, it might have been the year before, there was a documentary out, and it was for dark-skinned girls, and then they did another one for light-skinned girls. And it talked about, the whole hour documentary for dark-skinned girls talked about the things that happened growing up as a child and everything else that happened, the names that are being called, the bullying, the everything, they're making them feel inferior and everything like that. And then they turned around, which I thought was important too, that they did for light-skinned girls, because in me watching both of those, it's like, you're getting treated that way because you're a black woman, period. So it's like both are experiencing the same things, but just in different avenues, because light-skinned women are fetishized in a lot of different media outlets and everything like that. So they're not taken as seriously. They're seen as, commodities and just different things. Whereas dark-skinned women as well are fetishized as well, between especially Japanese men. They love dark-skinned women. Like certain cultures, like they fetishize black women in general, and they do pick it based upon how light or dark you are. And then you got those like myself who are in the middle. So we're just kind of getting it from both ends. We're like, okay, well, I mean, I'm too light for some people, too dark for others. So I'm just here. So it's like, okay, well, whatever. I have nothing to really say about it. Now, me personally, I prefer, and this is going to sound really, really bad, I actually prefer somebody that's darker than me. Only because I think I'm attracted to it. Like,
You're
I
attracted
like it.
to
So I'm not that I'm against anybody the same color or lighter than me, because in my dating history, most of them have been lighter. However, I prefer, and I'm more attracted to that image and what that means to me. So and that's just my preference anyway.
Well, I don't have one. It's just so happened that the women that I dated just happened to be my complexion, or I want to say probably most of the women that I've been with was biracial. So, but it just happened like that. It's not purposely. I don't walk into a club and say, "Oh, I want me a red bone. Oh, I want me a chocolate woman."
Because I've never seen you with a darker woman.
They always be my complexion.
They
but
always your complexion.
My complexion a lighter, but it just it's not like I go and seek out.
Right, it just works.
It just worked out that way over the years. I didn't go and seek them out like, and back in the day, I got a more light skin because before, when I have more hair on my head and it's really big, a lot of the times, because down here in Smyrna and Georgia, it's a lot of Hispanics and Puerto Ricans. So before I attracted a lot of them because they thought I was Puerto Rican, but I let them know, no, I'm black. But it sounds good when they call me Poppy.
And like I said, that goes back to
they were like, Poppy.
Okay, Poppy.
But again, it goes back to that with that being ingrained, because myself, I've dealt with that where I was at a store and it was a guy and he asked me, he said, "What are you?" I was like, I'm black. He said, You can't be just black. You got to be something else. Black women don't look like you.
Wow. They always assume that when you're a light complexion or whatever, that you're not fully black. But I got a question. I got a couple of shout outs coming up here in a minute too. And I also want to talk about the H&M thing with the shirt, the coolest monkey in the jungle. I want to touch on that as well. But before we get into that, leading into the subject about the black monkey shirt, I wanted to say that what did I want to say? Again, going back to the colorism thing, I was having a conversation with someone, and you know how they always say we are I lost my train of thought. You know what? Give me a moment to get myself together, because I was over here doing something and I don't want to say it wrong. I want to be politically correct on my end when I explain this so that people can understand what it is that I'm saying. So we're gonna go into the H&M. We're gonna talk a little bit about the I'm the coolest monkey in the jungle right now. So go ahead, Brittany, because you look like you ready.
Man, I'm ready. I'm ready. She's ready. She's so ready.
Okay, so of course, people who be on Facebook and everything else, you know that H&M recently in the UK put out an online website ad of a little boy, black boy, in a red, it was green hoodie that said the coolest monkey in the jungle. And then there was also a couple white kids on there, and I think one of them had a red one on that said like the survivor of the fittest or something like that on there. So a whole bunch of people just completely, that went viral, completely went crazy about that because of the connotation of this black boy being called and referred to as a monkey. So what I thought was interesting is, of course, the outrage of it, and it was a UK based ad, and it was actually ran in South Africa, which is crazy in itself. And a lot of the people, especially in South Africa, a lot of the stores in H&M in South Africa were completely destroyed by people because of the outrage behind this ad and everything else. And then later on, the child's mother came out and basically was like, I'm getting this coin. I don't care what it says on his shirt. Like, I'm basically, we don't think that way. And it's like you couldn't understand why somebody would be offended by a black child being referred to as a monkey.
I don't know. Let me get my thoughts on that. But I'm going to tell you, while we all sitting here making this big old fuss, I was just having a Facebook conversation with someone about it. And while we're sitting here making this big old fuss about the ad, I went into the mall yesterday, actually, and guess what? We were in H&M.
Of course, because
so we probably bought one of the shirts. So why do we get so upset when we're not going to do anything about it? We're still, those people, we were still, and I'm saying we as African Americans, we were still in H&M. And I looked in there and I was like, wow, I'm sure all of them saw that ad.
Right.
Yeah.
And they did see it. But the difference is that those people who were writing, I think were in South Africa and in those African countries where H&M was. Of course, African Americans love to get upset about things but don't like to really mobilize on a lot of things.
Exactly. So would it have been different if the shirts were switched? What would have happened if it was switched?
Absolutely nothing.
Would someone have said something and the little boy was in the orange shirt and the white little boy was in the green shirt? Would it have made a difference?
I think so. I don't think.
And then I think I saw a meme that says we're getting upset. We're getting upset about the H&M shirt. Well, we do tell our kids, go sit your monkey A down. We call them monkeys. Right. Now, but I don't think sometimes when they put out ads like this, and this is just me, I don't think it's intended. I really don't think it's intended to cause harm. How do we know that they didn't say, pick which shirt you want to be in, and he chose that shirt?
And I'm going to say I agree that it may not be intended, but when we're in an atmosphere that we are in with a lot of like that racial tension and everything else, I feel like as a marketing and advertising, you have to be on it when you come to certain messages they're putting out there because everybody's offended by everything now. So
everybody's offended by everything. Everybody wants to sue for everything. We're just going out the world backwards.
Right, because
we're going out backwards. Because
tearing up a store was still not it. That
it
to
still
me still was not
anything.
The answer. Because I said that about the shirt. I said maybe it was just a bad marketing.
I think
campaign.
It was right.
It looks really bad, but it could have been a bad marketing campaign. I'm not condoning the shirt because I would not buy that shirt. I don't have kids, but I wouldn't buy that shirt for anybody to put on anybody else's child. The shirt was just in bad taste. The coolest monkey in the jungle was just in bad taste. Anyway, but playing devil advocates here, had it been somebody in the community, a local John boy made the shirt, then everybody would have thought it was cool to wear the shirt, and they would have been running around with the shirt.
What if Jay-Z had made the shirt, or P. Diddy? What if he had made the shirt? Would it have made a difference?
I guess that goes back to the argument of who can use the N-word and who can't. So to me, that's the same thing. Like either both can or neither one of us can. Is it one of those things where we're kind of taking back that narrative? Or are we going to get rid of it completely? Like that's basically what we have to have that conversation. That's what I'm saying. If it was switched and the Caucasian boy had on the best monkey in the jungle, whatever. I don't think it would be a big deal. I don't think it would have been an issue. But like I said, what intention, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. That's what my grandmother used to tell me all the time.
Well, yeah.
So, intentions could be good, but again, when we live in the climate that we live in, you have to take that ownership and that responsibility as a marketing and advertising agency and be like, hey, somebody didn't be like, hey, why don't we just switch this around? Or how about we not do this right now?
We not do this, and how about we not even advertise that shirt? Because I'm sure it was more shirts to be advertised.
Yeah, there was more children, more sweatshirts. How about? But see, then it goes back to a lot of people were pressuring the mom, and she's like, well, he can wear whatever he wants. That's what the shirt, that's what we get paid for. He's the model. So at that point, as the mom, you're okay with that message. So should we really be upset?
I think with her, it was all about money.
Yes, it's about money.
The way that came off to me, it was like, I don't care. We got paid for it. So at that point, it's like selling your soul to the devil. To me, that's how it was with her. But I think, like you said, it was bad marketing. Someone should have said, you know what? We just went through this with Dove. Wasn't that Dove?
Yeah, it was Dove.
We just went through this with Dove. Let's not go there.
Somebody did ask, are we still boycotting Dove and H&M?
I forgot what was even supposed to be boycotting Dove. I bought some because that's what I use. I even totally forgot. But when we go in, one thing we have to understand is when we go in tearing up stores, you're only putting money back in their pocket because guess what? That's what they pay insurance for. So you really didn't do anything. Insurance.
They covered you.
They are very much covered. You didn't do anything. The way to hit a company is to hit their pockets, and that's not go buy anything from the store. But we don't think like that because I'm telling you, I went into the mall and I'm like,
my
this
friend
place
said
is cool.
that
This is packed.
My friend said that H&M made a statement and they're supposed to be pulling all the stores out of Africa. I don't know how true it is.
Yeah, I think they are.
But they made a statement and all the H&Ms that was in Africa is supposed to be closing out.
Yeah,
they
because
closing
it
down
was
all
dangerous.
the stores because it was dangerous. Yeah. And that wasn't the only store, I guess, that got hit. It was the
there
one
was
that
several.
made it to Facebook, but several of the other stores got hit, so they're supposed to be closing down all the other stores. So this is
over the ad.
Yeah,
over that ad,
because of the dangerous, because they're going in and tearing everything up. So they're afraid for the workers' lives and everything like that. So they're going to be closing those stores.
And this is what because we was talking about the H&M thing, so it brings it back because a lot of people on Facebook now, they want to separate themselves. First, everybody was saying, I'm African American. Now, they on there saying them Africans, and they not, the black Americans don't want to identify. Now, they want to separate themselves and say they're not African American, they're the American. It's weird, but it was like all the little craziness on there. But a while ago, when I told somebody that I did not identify as African American, I identified as black American, we went back and forth about that, because she was like, oh, you're denying your roots. And I was like, no, I'm black American. I was not raised in Africa culture.
Was not.
I don't know anything about that culture, their dance, their art, nothing. Everything that I know is American tradition.
And that's true. We're just our ancestors come from there.
I'm not denying my past, but I'm not going to identify as something that I know I'm not. I do not study the African culture. But you do have people that are African American. Those are the ones who have migrated here, the immigrants that came here from Africa that live in America, and they still study their African culture. They still live by that. That's who they pray to, and all they dance, their marriage, their values, their morals, and all of that is based on Africa, but they here in America.
Okay, and I have a comment for somebody that was on our thing. They said, I think we as a people don't take each other serious and disrespect each other, so how can we hop on the next race when we are a joke to ourselves?
And that's absolutely true. Absolutely. We do not support each other. We don't. We don't support each other. We downgrade each other. And women, we don't respect each other. As women, we don't respect another woman's relationship. We don't respect anything. We are a danger to ourselves. I believe that. She's absolutely right.
And then to go back to the like Black American, African American thing, people do have to understand that not everybody ancestry goes back to Africa. There were Black people in the United States before the slave ships came over as well. And then you have a lot that are a part of the Native American. So I just think the divide in it, we are
Cherokee.
all together.
Everybody
Not
Cherokee. I'm just
but yeah, I know everybody. Everybody Native American. No, you're not. No, you're not. But I just think I don't know what the solution is. That's why I'm not always as vocal as I would like to be. But this divide that we have in the United States is
we are a divided culture.
Detrimental, and we keep feeding into it because everybody wants to have their own identity within the community. So I don't want to help you because I don't identify with who you are. I'm not African American. I'm Black, or I'm not Black. I'm, I think they're called American. I think that's the another classification that they have. So it's just a whole lot of separatism and going on that. But you're right. There's people at H&M because H&M had an 80% off sale. So people was going in there getting shirts.
Right, getting shirts. And then I sympathize for the employees because you do have us there working. Someone has to feed their baby. Somebody has to pay their bills. They're not there because they want to be. They're there because they need a job. But like you say, I think we just taking it out of context. I really think we are taking it out of context.
Yeah, we are. Okay, so let's see. Y'all can finish talking. I'm finna. Oh, wait, before I do this, I do have a shout out. I want to give a shout out because I have got the exclusive on my BFF book. It's called The Night Shift, The Intimate Collection of A.W. McKinley. And I have started reading it. I was going to post it on Facebook, but I can't post it right now. But this is an amazing book. It's some short stories in here. Dinner in the Movie, I Think I Love You, just to name a few. Office Delight, I've been through it, been reading it. It's a really good read. Some short stories in here. So make sure as soon as she released that book to the public, I will have the information so you all could go out and get it. Again, big shout out to my BFF. Been friends for a minute. Another one of the people I met, we used to manage at Hollywood Video.
Oh,
man, I missed
Hollywood
that job.
Videos. Wow.
I missed that. Was like the best job ever. We had like the best team, the best boss ever. Oh my God, I missed that job. But anyway, yeah, enough for the memories. So with that, I guess we'll get ready and take a break because we have the amazing Jessica coming up here shortly, right after this break. So let me make sure, because earlier, hold on, what happened earlier. Our music was not right at the beginning. It played the last time, but it was not right at the beginning. So we were sitting here all looking at each other like, what
is going on today?
Right. We was all like just looking at each other like, and I just stopped it. So anyway, let's see. Now y'all, again, it just played for us a second ago, but if it started, I did do checks. We did checks beforehand. So we're gonna take this break and give a little introduction. And like I said, coming up, the creator and founder of the Punany Poets. And again, if you have not got those tickets, hurry up and get them. No discounts after today.
Right.
At midnight, no discounts. Full price. It'll be
Seen on HBO. Now witness the Punany Poets live on stage in Jessica Holter's School of Seduction. This Valentine's show will satiate your mind, stimulate your body, and rock your soul with a special love potion of romance therapy, erotic prose, sexy short stories, and body poetry unleashing on stage in sexy vignettes, titillating sketches, and audacious audience role play. Laid on the perfect baby-making soundtrack by Dwayne Wiggins of Tony Tone, falling in love again is as easy as ABC and 1, 2, 3. With Jessica Holter's School of Seduction. Enroll today, and you'll be on your way to your sexual greatness. Just get your tickets online at punanytickets.com and bring your lover or a very close friend for a night of sex education theater you'll not soon forget. Get your tickets online at punanytickets.com.
Just as every Punany is different, our Punany is different. What makes her so special is the way she sounds. The music, I mean. Our music is so hot. It was created right here in the Bay Area by some of the Bay Area's best producers, including Dwayne Wiggins of Tony, Lev Burlack of the Grill Studios, and by Foster McElroy, the producers who made In Vogue a household name.
¿Qué Punany puede hacer por ti? Solo juego conmigo. Oh shit, start it over. No podría mentir. No miento. Sé cómo chupar. Y mi verdad está desnuda, pero protegida, como el elixir sensual que llena tus guantes de amor. Cuando practico mis habilidades.
Punany Poets. The Punany Poets started years ago. I worked alongside with Jessica Holter, where we produced our shows in warehouses, abandoned warehouses around the Bay Area. I guess you would call them soul raves. It started out us having a lot of fun. You know, I would bring the equipment, the music equipment. I'd bring the musicians, and we would jam. And Jessica would bring the poets, and other friends would bring the photographers and the artists. And you know, we had the nice scent in the air, so the mood was always set right. But we would just do our thing, man, and we had a nice time celebrating life like that. And it just evolved into this beautiful thing that Jessica took on, which is the Punany Poets, and they've been doing tours and productions all over the world. But the production started out small, and it evolved into something that's just been a masterpiece of her own, the creation of her mind. And she's had great actors alongside with her. One in particular I did, his name was Max Julian.
Down in the set of color, I want to turn the lights around. Now picking's everywhere. It starts in your hair. But it don't get to your brain until you understand I'm breathing.
Max Julian was, if you don't know, he was the Mac in the movie called The Mac. He was the main pimp. It was about him, Max Julian. And so she happened to have him in the play, and that was beautiful. I think we did that in Emeryville at this location. It was a play, but it had all of the poetry she had written, and also some of the other members of the Punany Poets. So it was really hot to see that go down, and I would look at the different vibes that were going on within the play, or within the poems. I would hear the poems, I'd be like, I could hear something going to it like this. There's one in particular, she wrote this one song called Unpimpable.
Unpimpable. Because I believe in the dream, the stuff Cinderella was weaned on. Looking for me a John Henry to lean on and uphold like the backbone I am. Unpimpable, like Malcolm and Martin, fully realized yet unhardened. For I see the green for the demon it is. The paper pimp feeds on insecurities, teaching you to be sheep in their school, scribbling
Now, I had a track that I was hearing for years, and I was like, this track just said, this is something that could be in the Mac movie or a Superfly movie. And her voice just went alongside, and it just made magic. So songs like that, and then songs like Pussy Willow, which is AKA Scorpio. That just happens to be the song I dedicated for her. She happens to be a Scorpio. I understand the Scorpio sign, so that fit like hand in glove. And so everything I do with the project is pretty simple. It's me having a good time, and us now just taking the productions that we did and taking the poems that we had and exerting our energy into it and just painting an entire picture, of what you could see people moving to what you can see people wearing, or in this case, not wearing.
I want my mouth to speak nothing but praise when speaking of you, my beautiful black Messiah. I want to be the key to the rusty cage that imprisons black love. Use me.
So, being a part of the Punany Poets and being one of the music directors and producers of what we would call a soundtrack, the score, it can be challenging at times because it's hard to sit there and create music and look at a bunch of naked bodies. It's a dirty job. If somebody's got to do it, may as well be me.
My skin has been kissed by the sun. I am the mother of nurture. The world is cradled in my hips. I am thick with this. I am thick with this.
The whole foundation of what the Punany Poets is about, it's, celebrating life and making awareness of AIDS through, how to have safe sex. Just teaching how to have safe sex, but with a cool twist to it. You always have to, if you want to preach something to someone, you want to teach to someone, you got to be able to attract their attention first. And the Punany Poets do a great job of that. But besides that, they do beautiful things within the community. I think with Jessica Holter's background of being a journalist and being in the military, a lot of people don't know that. But her being in the military, she has this militant mindset, or she can get to that militant mindset. But the fact that she's from East Oakland gives her sort of a ghetto militant attitude. You know what I mean? She gets the job done. That's what I mean by that. At whatever expense, whatever it takes, she gets the job done.
Can't nobody tell you to love. No. I'm talking about bunch of haters.
Hey, representing the forbidden. Words I'm spitting, hitting mentals like the billy clubs of cops trying to stop Rodney King from breathing. I'm wreaking havoc on this mic in Ghettoville tonight. Reciting lyrics from prophesied scriptures, bugging verb for the haters who haven't heard.
And so I really enjoy being to express myself because it's open. I understand her. And so a lot of things she writes and a lot of productions she gets, she can call me and just simply say, hey, I'm doing something and I got this guy here and he's like this and this young lady, this and this is what they're doing, this is how they're interacting, and this is what they're saying in the poem. Well, what do you feel in that? And I'll basically, lay back and make myself feel good and hold my guitar and I'll come up with something that says it pulls out where they're trying to go with the poem.
3 words for Punany. Let's see. I'm not in the bed, I'm in your head. The little one puppy up top. I could give me to you easy or just sit back and let you watch me. Please me, because you know I'm kind of easy. A little cat can make a good girl sleep. Don't want your dick if it's cheesy. If at any time this gets too greasy, sister, pat your knees and let cunnilingus bring us to a most compelling. Stop. You could slap it just a little or fiddle with my riddle or ride straight down to the middle until we both cop.
It's so easy to work with and it's so refreshing to be in the same company as these professionals. So I think that the Punany Poets is here for life. We're going to be traveling the world. We're going to be doing something in countries that are they're so understanding of this type of entertainment, erotic, adult, grown, sexy entertainment, and they're so thirsting for what we've been able to develop in the music industry and the culture and the arts and everything from Oakland, California, that it's going to be a blessing for us to bring the Punany Poets to your state, your country, your city. So I'm looking forward. And like I said, I'm Dwayne Wiggins, your official music director for the Punany Poets.
Swelling to tell my secret, she blurts a dripping question as to the stiffness of his dick. I shuffle my legs gently back and forth, thinking, shh, settle down, girl, don't fuck this up. Hop up on the bar stool and cross my legs, pressing her lips together. Shut the fuck up. But since she wasn't wearing anything, feeling way too free, when the music stopped, she mumbled something freaky. Her voice, as vulgar as she intended it to be, sticky with wine and muffled by my thighs, crept up on me like a thief and called me out like a whore in the street. Don't sweat it, baby, the man said. The lady knows what she wants. My pussy and him got along great, but I didn't like him much.
You're live with LE Radio Entourage.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to us. We just want to say again, thank you, everybody who's tuned in with us every Sunday. Again, so without further ado, Gina, are you excited? I'm
Yes.
excited. I was listening to the
music like, oh my God, here we go.
Yes, so we have the amazing, I wish we had like a clap track. But
I got one somewhere.
Yes. So the amazing, phenomenal Miss Jessica Holter, everybody.
Okay.
Right. So just to, again, give a little bit about, we have this amazing woman. We're doing an interview tonight. So all of the shows that I spoke about earlier in the show, this is the amazing individual that is putting them on. So you guys, again, buy those tickets last time, tonight, discount tickets in tonight. So after that, you have to get full price. But that's cool too. We love full price.
Right. Definitely have no problem with that.
Right. So just to get into it, man, I'm just like in awe because I was reading everything as far as like your history, being a celebrated author, an orator, an activist. Like you've done pretty much everything. And that's awesome. Plus you're from California too, so I love West Coast, like we're the best. So
Chi-town.
Right.
Yes, I'm from Los Angeles. So.
Oh, you're from LA? Yeah. I'm on my way to LA.
I love LA.
I'm about to go. I'm 27.
Yeah, that's what the show is kicking
Yes, LA. Hey, LA people, y'all got to show represent some love, okay? But I just want to know, like, how you started. You started relatively early doing this, correct? Like
95.
As far as like you were the only one in your field, kind of, that was attacking the kind of like sexual health the way that you do, right?
Well, you know, when I started the Punany Project, there really wasn't.
Can't hear you.
People did not do erotic poetry at all. It was a taboo.
Really?
Like, yes, this was a very long time ago. So when I first came out with the Punany Poets, and the fact that I did it on HBO,
right,
I was looked at as like a traitor. Like, not only are you making poetry about sex, you're also doing it like on a white man's media. Like,
oh no!
Yeah, I took some hits for it starting out, but. I mean, hell, it was HBO.
Right. Everybody know, like, every time I mention, like, oh, we're going to have just go from Punany Poets, they're like, from HBO? I'm like, yes. Everybody knows HBO.
I remember that show.
Yeah, I'm really glad I made the choice to do it that way because...
Can't hear you.
No,
the people can't hear you. No, you just said.
I'm glad I made the choice to do it that way because just the reach. The amount of people I was able to reach with a topic that wasn't being discussed. But yeah, I started the project as an AIDS awareness project for women.
Right. Oh.
Mm-hmm. And using, at the time, hey man, you gonna put the mic in my mouth?
Right.
She's been trying to put the mic in my mouth all night.
No, because we all loud. Our bars is absolutely not moving at all. I don't see no movement when we talk. So if I don't see no movement, that's telling me my people can't hear you.
Can you turn it up?
It's up. I got you up as loud as it could go. I guess we just ghetto. No. They say people from Chicago loud.
We so ghetto.
They loud because
Okay. No, what were we even talking
No,
about?
so you said you initially started it as AIDS awareness for women.
Yeah. AIDS awareness for women. I was married at the time. Well, put the mic out. Okay.
Right, I'm telling you.
That mic slid out your mouth. That's erotic. Well, we are talking to the Punany poet.
Right.
Come on, man.
To herself, you know.
Oh, my God. So, yeah, I started the project as an AIDS awareness project. It was a book called Punany, the Hip Hop Songs. And somebody sent it to HBO Real Sex Producers, and then, I don't know, it just kind of went what they would call today viral.
Right.
Back then, we didn't even have the internet like that. So understand how long ago this was. The internet, the way that it's used today, is a fairly new phenomenon.
Right.
You know? So we had to market like through the mail. I used to mail postcards to people.
But you know what? But that's also a testament to the reach, though, because it's 2018 and people still like HBO.
Yeah,
and
but we also had publications then that people actually read.
Right.
So, like, I had coverage in Rap Pages. You probably don't remember Rap Pages.
I do, actually. I remember reading those. My older cousins had it.
Yeah, we had The Source and
Yeah,
4080 magazine. And anyway, I was a hip hop entertainment journalist, so I started the project as an AIDS awareness project when Eazy-E announced that he had AIDS.
Oh, wow, yeah.
I knew a girl that had been fucking him. I realized at that moment how close we all are,
Right.
to each other.
Right.
You know, this is one big circle of people, human bodies and spirits.
Yes.
And, you know, we try to disconnect. In our minds, we think that we're individuals, but we're not. We're all one connected unit, one spirit connected. So,
Right.
Explain that.
What do you mean?
How we, one spirit connected.
We only connect through sex. If we not having sex, we ain't exchanging no spiritual connection. That's how you, I'm just saying, that's how you connect.
You know what? Was you going to explain that differently? I want to hear yours.
Okay.
You know how somebody can walk into a room and you can tell right away if they have an attitude or not?
Yeah.
We was talking about that last week.
We was.
Energy. Yeah.
It's energy.
Yeah.
And energy never dies.
Nope.
And it's always moving. You're always feeling it. You can change your proximity maybe to someone and maybe feel like you have a little distance there, but even when you're thinking about someone, when you're thinking about the things that they did to you 20 years ago, you're still connected.
You're still connected.
Why y'all looking at us? Keep talking.
What?
Go ahead.
No, I'm into this. I hope y'all listening.
Yeah, so I mean, it's important to understand, like when you're dealing with sex, your sexuality. You only needed one AIDS patient to start with, and now, I think we were talking about the numbers the other day.
Oh yeah, we was talking about the numbers, but number one was black males, black gay, black bisexual men were number one.
For AIDS?
Yeah. Bisexual. And then black
they're
women
not called bisexual.
What you talking about?
They're just men who have sex with men.
I thought the bisexual men was number one.
They're not bisexual. They're just men who have sex with men.
So what do you call them?
I know.
MSM. Men who have sex with men.
It to me,
so
they're
now we
gay.
got more more letters?
They're gay men, but they want to identify as men who have sex with men, right?
No.
If you're having sex with a man, you're gay.
They are men that like women, that have relationships with women, but also have sex with men. Is that correct?
It's all inclusive of men who have sex with men. So some men have sex only with men. Some men have sex with women and men. But men who have sex with men is a category all its own.
So they're not bi. So
it can include your husband.
Yeah.
Is the point. Anyone who has sex with men, any man who has sex with men. So to be gay, you kind of also have to identify as gay. If you're not identifying as gay, if you don't live a gay lifestyle, you might not consider yourself gay, but you might like the occasional penis in your butt.
Huh?
Yeah, so that's a part of the show, you guys. So
that's a part of the show.
Education.
Did somebody just say something feel good?
It feels good. I did.
Oh, girl, whatever. Anyway,
I think it feels good.
They, you don't know because we don't have a
prostate.
Yeah.
Well, I think
it's in their butt. It's in their butt.
I don't really think of, like, if a man enjoys having sex with men, I don't automatically think of him as gay.
Okay.
Because, like, to be gay, you also have to live a gay lifestyle. You have to identify as gay.
You have to identify. Right.
Right? Because you could really essentially be a straight acting guy, with a wife and
children,
family
all
and
that.
children, and be like, but occasionally you like to have your prostate stimulated by a live, pulsating, heartbeat penis.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if he just like his butt penetrated, why don't he just let his woman strap him?
He could.
I said a live, warm, pulsating penis with a heartbeat
I heard
in
what
it.
you said, but okay.
Why are y'all looking like
No,
that?
I'm
They
letting
laughing at me.
I'm laughing at him. You're doing fine.
Who's him?
I mean her.
See, there we go.
There we go.
But no, so okay, so I actually understand that concept of men's sleep because I mean sexuality can be fluid.
Hey,
So-
I've had more sex with women who were straight, quote unquote, than who weren't.
Right. 'Cause, I mean, they don't identify as lesbian,
Oh,
but they
yeah.
occasionally like a woman's touch and a
Yeah.
woman's, you know.
So what do they identify? Women who have sex with women?
What's their
No, I'm
letters?
serious. Is it women who have
What's
sex
their
with women?
letters?
Seriously.
I don't think they have that category at the CDC,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I really feel like right now people are so sexually fluid that we have to be really mindful of our health. Because just like our
Yes.
energy flows, our sexuality flows. So when you have sex with someone, you're having sex with every person they've ever had sex with.
That's what they say.
Exactly.
Like
This is
for
true.
real, you're leaving pieces of your DNA in them and vice versa. And I mean, hell, when we connect, it is so powerful. You can make a baby. So come on. It's
Right.
not something to be taken lightly. So when I started the Punany Project, I just wanted to hammer home that point.
Right.
That we are all the same. We are all connected. Let's talk about sex. Let's not be afraid of it. It is something that is natural. And I don't know why people are so uncomfortable talking about something that gives you pleasure when you talk about things
Right.
that give you pain all the time.
All the time.
You talk
Why-
about war. You celebrate war.
Yeah.
You stand up and clap when soldiers walk through the airport.
Right.
Stand up and clap for a hoe sometime.
Right. But you know, I think
What
that's
we clapping?
American side.
What are we clapping for them for? I need to know. What are we clapping for them
Yeah,
for?
what we clapping for them for?
Because hoes are the great liberators, man. Hoes give you life. Hoes are great.
Wow.
Because they're only in the business of pleasure.
That's prostitute though.
No.
That's yes, but that's
Not
okay though.
always.
What's wrong with that?
A hoe doesn't get paid, do she?
She can.
Yes,
Okay.
If
a
she
pro-
requires it.
What?
I'm just asking.
Only a whore gets paid.
I'm gonna change my
Anybody-
profession.
What you mean a hoe don't get paid?
I mean, I'm just talking. I don't know. Do they?
There are whores, and then there are just stupid people who would
Okay.
like just spread it around town and
Okay, there you go.
not get paid. Like, what are we saying? That it's better to just do it and not get paid? Is that
No,
what we're
no,
saying?
no. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm not
I
saying
got a
that.
question. You've been married before, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know when you was married, that's the same thing. There's not much difference between what a hoe and a housewife.
I wasn't a housewife. I probably was the hoe. I did nothing domesticated in that marriage.
No. When I say that, here. Let me play something.
No,
y'all
don't
right
play.
quick. Yes.
You might
don't
have
like
technical difficulties.
that. No, I don't think.
No, let's just.
Really, Jessica. Well, can you explain to them about the hoe and the housewife?
Go ahead, Jessica. I like the way you do it.
Yeah.
Erotically.
Tell them about it.
Let's go with it.
So the conversation is we women for some reason from the time we're really small, society starts to mold our thinking to say, okay, your goal is to get married. That is your goal.
Right.
You want to be
The
Barbie.
American way.
That is the American way to get married. That way you can be validated. You will have a man to take care of you and blah, blah. The experience in particular for black women, though, is different. You could try to sell a black woman on the idea that, oh, you're going to marry this guy and he's going to take care of you. But the chances of that happening in the black community are very, very small. Okay, so what you're left with is the idea that you could just have a man, just getting a man, just to have him around, not to marry you, but just to have him around. Then you tell yourself, oh, so you're going to have the babies with them and you're going to have them for as long as you can, even if you're sharing them with the neighbor. You know what I'm saying? It's like they sell you on this dream when you're a kid that you're going to have the house and kin and all that.
White picket fence, dog.
Right. By the time you're 14, you know that's probably not going to happen. Okay. So at 18, a lot of girls start having kids and just going through the emotions, like going through the motions of being like they're married and like they're having a full American type family, but they're not really getting that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like we sell ourselves on this weird kind of dream that we're going to get something that is not even really readily available because black men are so limited in terms of what they're able to accomplish. Like, and then on the flip side of that, we like to fall in love with bad boys and bad girls, you know.
Right.
And so there's the fantasy, you know, there. And it leaves something open for people. It leaves a big old window for the fun people to come in. That's where the hoes come in.
That's where the hoes come in. Yeah, probably.
Right?
Yeah.
So you done lock the guy down and you trying to wrestle him into a marriage and all this stuff. He don't want to be there. He kicking and screaming in his soul, right? But y'all going through all this stuff. Then the hoes come in and they tell him, oh, you still handsome. He's so strong. And they can come into the places that are left wide open by the girlfriends and the wives and the baby mamas who just become a bundle of bills and bullshit, you know? And so, yeah, hoes are, you know, but sometimes hoes can help you keep your relationship alive.
True. That is true.
She be doing the dirty work. You ain't got to do the dirty work. You can just sit on your pedestal if you got one. I say a hoe could be your best friend, man.
Hey, she could. I've you know what? I've worked at this place in Chicago, Lakeshore Athletic Club, and I ran into a lady that used to come in there, and she did. She allowed her husband to have, I'm gonna say, a hoe, because she was like, he's not gonna sit there and just bang my ovaries out, but he can go ahead on and go when he feels that he needs to do that. He can go over there to her, and he can do that, but he's gonna come home and he's gonna treat this like a castle. So I get what you're saying. I honestly, she told me that. But then on the other side, my mother said, you need to be a freak and know how to do what you do to keep your man, to keep Shaquita from your man.
That's Shaquita.
My mother wasn't no punk, baby. She was domestic, but then I know in that room she was something else.
Yeah.
She had all, I think that's where I got the idea of wigs from, because she had all kinds, baby. He didn't know what he was coming into that room with.
Oh, that's cute.
I'm so serious. May she rest in peace.
You know, that's the theme of one of the shows we're doing this year. Well, every year we do School of Seduction. This year I have a little a cast change. And so for the first time in a long time, probably since I was married, we have a married woman in the lead role.
Wow, nice.
I know. Y'all like, see what I'm saying? That shouldn't have even affected y'all like that.
Well, it did.
It is so sad that marriage is so rare for us. But this year we're celebrating the housewife. I mean, she's not really a housewife, but I'm calling it the School of Seduction. And this time we're celebrating the housewife. That's her thing right there. Her name is Maha Adachi.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. She has 3 children. Okay. She has a son. She has 2 little girls, little daughters, and a husband. And they live in a cute little house in North Carolina. It is the cutest thing. I fell in love with her and her whole life when I went to see her. And I was like, this is what we need to see more of, to know that we can still have that dream that they sold you on when you were a little kid. You know, you can still have your husband and your kids. You just have to require it.
Right.
You can't be giving people babies before they've earned them.
Right.
That is true.
Having babies on people ain't asked for them.
And that's true.
Right?
I'm agreeing with you.
And being abusive to people, like expecting them to just, you know, you talking shit to people that you ain't shit. Fuck you. You just like your dad. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All that, and then expect them to eat you like a lesbian. Like, it don't work like that.
It don't work like that, people.
You got to be nice and sweet with your words.
Ooh, Jessica.
Right.
I'm going on tour with you. I'm going on tour with Jessica.
You gonna do some poetry?
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, but and then to know, I think one of the reasons I wanted to talk about this is because when you do live that life, that wife life, it's a lot of time that you have to spend with somebody. So you do have to get creative.
You do,
and you do have to, and not just with the romance, but just in general. You know, to learn new things so you can give new things, try a new recipe. You know, change and spice stuff up and all that. So I'm really excited to see all the things that Maha and her team are bringing to the table this year. I know they're doing some new games because my shows are interactive. So
it's a question over there, Brittany.
Well, it's not really a question. We had somebody just make a comment when we were talking about marriage and being sold on that dream, because she said, I was married before and my ex-husband was nothing but dead weight. So, and I know people who get into these marriages because they feel like, oh, well, I'm a certain age, so I have to have a kid by this day. I have to be married by this age. If not, they hinge their womanhood and their value as a woman based upon if they're married or if they have children. But the same thing with men. Some men hinge their manhood on how many women they've slept with in the conquest of Punany and everything else like that. So, yeah, so she just made a statement that she said that her ex-husband was nothing but dead weight.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you know, we have to be selective about the people that we want to be with. If you want somebody who is just hella chill, who just is available. Some women, you have a lot of lazy dudes because, like I said, you don't require what it is you need. You just settle for any old man. And I feel I have to all the men who are listening right now, I would like to apologize for all of the women who have made you feel like a piece of meat.
Huh?
I'm like, there are a lot of women. There are a lot of women out here who make these men feel like a piece of meat.
So, in other words, are you saying they just use the men for sex?
Yes.
Well, what about the men that use the women?
It's just an interesting shift, I think, to see how many. What you're getting is men who have been treated like that, so that's why they're acting like that. Like, I'm just here to give you the pipe. Right. If you want them to be there for more, you have to let them know that you need them to be there for more. If somebody is dead weight, sitting there on the couch, he's just giving you what you asked for or what you allow. My ex-husband said to me, men will only do what you allow them to do.
That is
true.
And
he was talking about himself, and I was like, wow, was my first real grown-up lesson. You know? Like, he looked me in my face and said, men will only do what you allow them to do.
That is true. Anybody would. Woman, man,
yeah.
Only what you allow them to do.
So,
exactly.
So as long as you allow him to be their way, that's
exactly what he's gonna be.
Yeah, and if you know that you need somebody who's more proactive in your relationship and in your household and in the structuring of your future, then you have to tell them that. You have to say, look, loser.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know, if you want to play this game right here, these are the chips you need to put in.
Right, and she did follow it up when we were discussing about being a freak. She said that's not always true. You can be a freak and they still mess up.
Yeah.
So but to me, I feel like that's another thing. He might got something else, or you might be requiring something else of him, and that's because I refuse to believe that men only cheat for sexual stimulation. I think men could possibly cheat for emotional reasons as well.
Yeah,
I think so.
Well, it's really, I think men are probably 80% ego. So,
well, yeah.
It's, as long as you keep their ego stroked and make them feel confident and capable, like they're really easy to. It's just like raising a son.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. They have emotional needs that don't involve a lot of tears. So you can kind of have a formula for it. Yeah, for how to. Mm-hmm. There was something you said I wanted to address. Oh, about being a freak? Yeah. Okay, ladies, be careful about being too much of a freak. If you try to be too much of a freak with somebody, especially, like, you got to really, really gauge it. Don't just pull out all the stops, especially right away. Because the thing about men and their egos, and not just men, women too, lesbians too, everybody, is that people judge you. I just posted something about judgment today. Like, people judge you and they think, oh, if you do this with me, you must do this with everybody. So you have to be careful.
You have to be careful.
Right.
And like you
Right.
say, you have to come out slowly.
Yeah,
That's
like the
what I
ones that
do.
give it up on the first night don't feel special. They ain't gave it up on the first night to others.
That's not
It's
true.
not
Don.
true. But she think that though. Look at
That
her.
is so not true.
Well, I think that if I meet a woman and she trying to get in my bed on the first night, I'm not going. I've never had a one night stand because I be thinking she nasty.
You never had a one night stand.
Never had a one night stand. That's dirty.
No, that's not.
Okay, that's just my personal opinion.
We gonna jump on her tonight.
No, I've never had a one night stand. I've had women that wanted to have one night stands, but I didn't do it. No.
I'm gonna get you a one night stand.
Nah,
Ooh, baby.
don't pay her no mind.
What if we get her tested first?
Yeah, nah.
We get her all the tests and everything.
Oh yeah, see that'd be my issue. She might have something. I'd be too scared to catch anything.
Speaking of tests, you know we're having testing this year
Yeah,
for the first time in a long
shows,
time.
right?
yeah. Give them
Yeah,
that
which
information.
We got AHF Pharmacy offering live. I think they're 20-minute tests that you can take like right on site. You could like take the test on the way in, get your results on the way out.
Nice. That's good.
No one
Everybody
night
should
stand. What?
take it.
Nothing exciting, exotic.
What?
I'm on her right now.
Why everybody want? Why y'all all want us to go live? Do y'all really want to see our faces? Y'all not enjoying our voices? Why y'all keep hitting me up top of go live? Y'all not enjoying our faces? I mean our beautiful voices. This is like the 12th person that said go live, go live, go live.
We'll go live next time. But
What, yeah, we'll go live next time. Right now,
get back.
we in deep conversation over here, and I'm having a bad hair day.
But I just want to get back to the freak part from what you were saying, Jessica.
Oh, the
because
freak
about
part.
not pulling, because I agree with that, because if I'm just first meeting you pulling out gadgets and all this other stuff, like when we first start, like that might be intimidating to some people. Or
You don't
if
pull
they
out all
don't-
the you don't
But
pull
that's
all that
when-
out, right?
It depends,
It
on a few
depends.
things. What you want the relationship to be. Like you
True.
starting on a high ground.
right.
So that means you don't have nothing to go up to. Like, don't pull out everything, all your tricks
Exactly.
right
You
away.
don't do
First
that.
of all, because then you don't want to be a disappointment the second time, if there is a second time.
And if you pull out all that stuff with me the first time, I'm not gonna mess with you no more.
She gonna run.
I'm not finna mess with you no more. Pull out a treasure chest on me. You know how y'all films be having this whole treasure chest. Yeah, y'all have
Y'all
trunks.
supposed to be having backpacks.
And y'all be having stuff
What
in
kind
the
of female
trunks.
she messing with? Got trunks.
And
I
y'all
have
have
no
y'all little
idea.
gadgets up in these trunks up
I
under
can't-
y'all
I
bed.
I gotta
Something.
get me some gadgets.
Oh, I got
Because
gadgets.
I don't know what it is.
I got gadgets
about-
at freakycupid.com.
Yes.
All
Okay.
kinds of gadgets, and they
I
got some
do,
good
but I'm gonna
ones.
need somebody that's gonna
Some of the new ones are amazing.
Man.
Do you know they even have?
text me where 'cause I'm gonna order.
You know they have machines.
Huh?
They have machines with penises that move like robots. now.
What?
Oh yeah, I saw that on I think on Real Sex. So one of those
I want a
episodes.
pole in my room and I want a basket.
What's the
What's the
basket
basket
for?
for?
Money.
Remember the basket at the Sybaris? You ever been to the Sybaris?
No.
You probably had never been to the Sybaris.
No, I never been there.
It's the basket that sits over the bed and you get in it.
yeah.
It's
What?
like you
Swing.
bounce and play.
What?
I want a pole and a swing.
Oh, a swing, not a basket.
It's a basket. I mean, it swings.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's-
because it moves and you get
Well, I
to
have
do
to see
whatever.
that.
You lay-
Want me to find out how much I could get it for?
No, that's a hotel she talking about.
No, but you can get it in your room.
Yeah, you can get
Just like the pole. I want me a pole too.
Mm-hmm. We got a pole.
Yeah, we got a pole.
You know what? Maybe y'all should put the pole up, and then when you go live, you could have like a
a demonstration.
dancer dancing.
Y'all want me to get on there?
Yeah. I'm sure quite a few people want to.
That was a joke.
I know one thing. The person that I do get, we're gonna have fun. We gonna. I'm
You get some pointers right now.
where that girl at that said make you out of body experience.
the one-
Where she at? Is she listening?
KT, yeah, the one.
So did y'all
actually listening? So.
did any of y'all have like a New Year's resolution for like
No, we was talking about
in
vision
the
boards.
in the sex department though? Did you make any resolutions
It's going
to
down.
get the toys?
I'm gonna get them toys.
You're gonna be more adventurous.
I'm adventurous now. I just ain't found nobody to be adventurous with.
Oh, yeah. You got to be careful in Atlanta.
Exactly. I have so many damn ideas in my head. It's probably going to explode. I don't even want to run them away.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to bring it out slowly. I'm going to call Jessica.
Bring it out slow.
Can I do this? Jessica.
Are we ready for the magic wand yet?
Bring them to a
no.
And then take them home.
Hey, okay.
Man.
Okay, so you want some toy tips?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, you know the magic wand? Mm-mm. You don't?
I do. I know.
Yeah, I know.
You know the magic wand?
I know the magic wand.
What's the magic wand?
It's a back massager. In all honesty, it's actually a back massager, but it's sold as a masturbation tool.
Personal massager, I think is what they call it, or something like that.
Yeah.
But be careful, because them things all big and chunky. And
They're pretty powerful.
yeah, that's what I mean. They're powerful.
They're pretty powerful. You got to be careful, though. If you play with it too much,
Desensitize.
it can desensitize you. But if you put that between two people,
amazing. Sparks of fire.
Right. Don't be giving Gina no ideas over here. Our eyes lighting up, y'all.
That's why they want us to go live.
it's some real precision fucking. It's like you put the ball, make sure the ball is in the right place for both of you.
Uh-huh.
I'm talking about for two women.
Right.
Yeah. Make sure the ball of it, the head of it, is in the right place for both women, and you're like fucking each other, but with the ball between you. Oh my god, it's so amazing.
It's called a magic wand.
It's called a magic wand. Yes, they have it without the cord now. To yeah, that's it right there. She just pulled it up on her phone.
That's what it is, and it's really big. Like you can plug it in. They have batteries. Like
but it's
so like you said, it's really big. So that like fits in between you, and like it's very, very intense.
Very powerful. Like multiple orgasms for both people at the same time. Like just clean out your whole system, girl.
Right.
I'm telling you, you could lose like 10 pounds of water weight. Just like.
I'm gonna have to go get that.
And with that, we're about to take a quick little break, and I'm gonna go ahead on and play this clip. They talking about my technical difficulties, but I'm about to play this clip anyway. And we'll be right back after this short break.
Married women in here. That's it? Are you fucking kidding me? Anybody married? Damn. How many girlfriends in here? How many of y'all just been with somebody for more than a year with no marriage plans? I want to hear it. Woo woo. I can't see you. No, I'm gonna do that again. Let's get our timing right. How many people in here been giving up the pussy for more than a year and ain't got a ring yet? I was a housewife. I stayed home, I took care of the baby, breastfed, got to stretch I let my mama pick this man for me. She said, he a good man. That's a good man you got. That man would take care of you even when you ugly and drooling at the mouth. That's a good man. It didn't take me long to realize that there's not much difference between a hoe and a housewife. Because there I was, all educated and shit, fucking for shoes. Fucking for new microwave ovens, and fucking cappuccino machines.
You are tuned into LE Radio, your #1 online community exchange.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
The story behind it is really sad, though.
You don't have to share the story behind it, but I just love that. You don't have to share the story if it's heartbreaking.
It's not heartbreaking. It's just so I was married. And
Look at Gina. She want to know.
she ready. I said no. I'm
already. I'm like over here like you don't have to share the story, and Gina egging it on eyes like, girl, don't pay down on my tell that story.
So I was married, and I really was a housewife. Like that's how I made I mean, I didn't really have an income. Like,
Right, you
whatever
housewife.
he gave me was what I had or whatever. And I really needed some shoes. Like, I really needed some shoes. It wasn't like I wanted some shoes.
Mhm.
It was like I needed some shoes. Okay. And so I told him, I was like, I really want some shoes. And he came in my office. It was in an apartment, like in the back of the house. And he came in there and sat down and pulled his dick out.
Why your mouth open like that, G?
I wasn't expecting that.
I wasn't expecting that when she first
He was.
told
I
me.
asked him for some shoes. He pulled his dick out. It was the first real lesson that I learned in that relationship, and a big lesson for life too. That have your own.
Yes. Yes, I agree.
So
I
you
agree.
won't be in a compromising position to have to do things that you would not, that you find, like you were talking about earlier, morally challenging.
Mhm.
We do things. Y'all were talking earlier about the lady who allowed her son to be photographed in a monkey T-shirt,
Right.
sweatshirt, and she was saying she needed the money. Yeah, I learned that lesson then, and I that's when I got real serious. As a matter of fact, it was less than 6 months, and I told HBO Real Sex yes. Yeah, because they had
So
been
the only way
trying
to get
me.
the shoes, you had to do something.
Dick suck.
Yeah.
I do suck good dick.
Don't say that on the radio. We can't say those words. We on iHeart, and you just been cussing.
Oh, you gotta tell me that.
Cause she been letting it run.
I said it earlier. I thought she heard me.
I didn't hear you say it either.
I
Oh
said
my
it on
God,
I was
I'm
trying
so
not to
sorry.
say it on the mic, but no, none of
Why
that.
you?
I just have to put it in
Not
the
tell
now,
me
so-
that.
You fired. You fired.
you
'cause
beat
I
me?
thought you heard. I just caught you when I looking at you and I seen your lips about to go there. Like no, we don't use we say Punany, not Pussy. But Punany is fine, but not Pussy. But I don't think y'all said it. Well,
We
said
haven't
it a couple
said
of
it.
times. Well, sometimes I say shit
this
and fuck
live?
too. Yeah, we live, but
You could beep it out later.
nah.
No,
It-
they
you
were
good.
live.
Yeah, we live. You good, but yeah, you good.
We
You good.
apologize, iHeart.
Yeah, we apologize.
Yeah,
We get a
and-
little excited over here.
Right. And anybody that
I don't apologize.
I don't know. I turned down the headphones, but
Okay.
I just turned the headphones down because they were saying that they were loud. So your mic on.
Okay, good. I'm just making sure.
We have any
So, so we haven't had any comments. Just hey, so yeah, somebody agreed. Yeah, do not pull all your tricks out of the bag and everything. But to go back to you talking about films with this trunk, what about studs in this black pack that y'all carry around?
I don't carry a backpack.
You might not, but there's quite
the
a
little
few
bag
of your
with the
cohorts
drawstring?
that do. Yes,
Yeah.
with the straps.
I got
and
one
all
of
the
them.
other stuff. So I'm like, don't act like it's just films doing that. Like,
Yeah, we know when they go with that little backpack, and I drop my little stud friends off, and they had that little book bag. I already know they ain't coming back. I already know.
see you tomorrow,
I
okay?
already know with the backpack. You know, I have a backpack, but that's not in my backpack. I have books and work stuff in my backpack or gym stuff. But yeah, normally, they carry that in their little backpacks.
and somebody also put, well, we're gonna do the Cupid, your website, but Adam and Eve was another website that they suggested, but we're gonna go with yours. We like us. Like we're gonna give our money internally.
Yeah, we got
like.
to keep our money internally. And going back to the topic of the night, because you are light skinned, so Jessica,
I'm light skinned.
and
Girl, if you didn't know.
Racially
If
ambiguous.
you didn't know.
Racially ambiguous, I think.
No,
is what they
because
call it.
I was talking
I was
about light
leading-
skin privileges, and I know you had stated off air that you don't agree. There's no such thing as light skin privileges. Well, I ain't gonna say no such thing, but just get your opinion.
About
Do you think it's light skin privilege?
if there's such thing as light
yeah,
skin privilege?
yeah.
I think that if there is light skin privilege, it's not coming from white people. It's coming from black people because
Absolutely.
it's black people who have colorism. I don't think we had this conversation. Maha and I and Karis, I think, were in the car traveling, and we stopped at we got on this conversation about light skin privilege. I'm like, no, I don't think that I've ever really experienced that. Because my life was hard.
hard.
But have you worked in corporate America? Yes. You have worked in corporate, because it does happen. It does happen. I think I told you that. Whereas we talking about that let's take a reception, and depending on the company, depending on the company and the person that hires you, you don't know. They hide their racism, hidden racism. So if you're going for a receptionist position, they may look at me and say, "No, I don't want you because I don't like blacks." But they'll choose you because, no, you're not fully white, but I can accept you. I can accept and look at you more than I can look at her. So I probably wouldn't get the job.
Somebody actually said that to
No, or
people have done it, and I know companies that has done it, because I interviewed for one, and then I had to say, look around you. And the way the interview was going, I knew I wasn't going to get it. The other girl got it. She wasn't biracial, but she was just light, and they gave it to her.
Yeah, you think she got it because
she told me that's what they had said. That is exactly what they had said. The boss said he didn't want to look at me.
Wow.
But he can prefer.
I missed that part earlier.
He can accept looking at her. He knows she's not white, but she's tolerable.
Now I have seen that in some companies in corporate, when you walk to the desk, is either a high yellow black woman or a white woman sitting at the desk. Now, I can say that in all my years, I don't recall ever walking into somewhere and the receptionist was dark skin.
What?
I'm so serious.
Okay, let me just say, so we're driving down the street. We get in this conversation, and, they're both brown. When I was a kid.
Color neutral.
When I was a kid, the kids used to say, if you white, you all right. If you brown, stick around. If you black, get back. It was something kids used to say.
Right.
I don't know where we got it from, why we would say it, but we would say it. And so they brown, middle ground, safe
color neutral,
whatever. Yeah, but I was and am emphatic about this, and I'm gonna tell you why. So we walk into the store. Now I don't know. A lot of black people look at the race experience through black eyes, right? We make a lot of assumptions where white people are concerned without actually asking them or testing things, right? Mm-hmm. So we walked into the gas station store, and I walked up to a white guy and asked him, do you feel more comfortable with light-skinned black people than brown-skinned black people? And I'm standing there with Karis. He said, not particularly. It's all the same to me. Mm-hmm. Now, in June, this was like 3 months ago. I feel like if people don't like black people, they just don't like black people. They don't make exceptions for you because you are lighter than not. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know there are pockets of little groups, cliques, society, whatever. I went to Howard, and I know they had a brown paper bag test at some point, and they had girls whiter than me, like blonde hair, blue eye, who you only saw when it was like time for the fashion show or whatever. Like they say, used to skate through or whatever. That's a society. I don't know. Maybe that society's dead. I don't know. But for me personally, and for probably thousands and thousands of mixed race people like me who have been abandoned by their mother, left in foster care because we were mixed. No, I don't know anything about white privilege. I know something about being raped. I know something about being molested. I know something about having to fight every Friday because I was light skinned. Has anybody handed me anything? I don't know. That blessing of a husband I got, the one who gave me 2 STDs before it was over. Yeah, no, I don't see where I have experienced much. Maybe in the way of the fact that I have this entertainment company. Maybe it helped me with the HBO thing, but maybe not. Like, when they found out that my brothers were white, like one of the guys who helped me with my production is my natural brother, and he's white, and she did seem kind of impressed with that. Maybe, but there aren't that many times that I can remember feeling like blessed by it. When I was a kid, when I was 10, I had been living with my mother for a little while on a trial basis, and I told Dontrella this story. I I had been living with her for a little while on trial basis, and then I had decided I don't want to live here anymore because I just was not disciplined. I was going to Rocky Horror Picture shows. We were smoking weed. They stripped my clothes off in the theater. The police came. Like, all this stuff was happening, and I was like, you know what? I need some discipline. And I was 10 years old. I was like, I need some discipline. Hanging out with these white folks is going to get me in trouble. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I went home. I told my mother, I said, I want to go back to live at my foster home. If you could pack my stuff, while I'm at school, that would be great. And she looked me in my face and she said, I can't believe you're going back to live with those niggers. Wow. This is my mother. Like my mother. And I said, you're prejudiced. And she said, I guess I am.
But she had a black baby.
So?
That's why she ended up isn't it why you ended up in foster care? Because you were black?
No.
Oh.
I ended up in foster care because she was manic depressive.
Okay.
And they found me with like lice in my hair and all this stuff. But my point is, having a white mother and being as light as I am did not protect me from any of that. So, yeah, growing up in East Oakland in foster care, if anything, I had to learn how to fight my own people because of it, because there's this obvious presence of white in me. The Punany Project has been the blessing, the family that I've always wanted. My project, I don't know, people talk about black people don't support each other, whatever. I have found nothing but support in this community as an adult. I found nothing but support, and I had to fight for it, work my way through like some really bad things to get to this place where I understand that our center is one of peace and of love and of positive energy. And it really doesn't have anything to do with our skin. Like the way we look on the outside is really about your heart, your sense of goodness. You know what I'm saying? And that's really part of my mission, like to show people what we look like on the outside doesn't matter. The women who took care of me, dark chocolate, big black women took care of me, raised me like I was their own, beyond color boundaries.
But I'm thinking,
I got a question before you get into that, to go back to the foster care thing. Can you explain what you were saying about how back then you ended up separated from your brothers because they had they didn't want black kids?
There was there's so much division in the black community. Like, we do this to ourselves a lot, I think. But they didn't want, there was a group of social workers against cross-racial adoption. And so even though my brothers, I have 3 brothers and a sister, and they're all white, and I'm the only one with a black father. And so they decided to separate us. They put them in a white foster home, put me in a black foster home. Because the black social workers said that they didn't want white people raising black kids. So I was forcibly separated from my brothers because of it. Yeah. And raising a black family, a not rich black family.
So a lot of people feel that way, though. Like I have a few people in my family who are social workers and things like that. And then just conversations, they get really testy with white people, more specifically white women, raising these biracial girls and boys and black kids, because with you being white, you're not a part of that culture. So the innate things like how to take care of hair and other things, they feel very adamant about not doing that. But I think that's sad that they just separate you and made that decision for you guys.
Yeah, that part was sad.
I have a story about that. So my mother wasn't very good at combing my hair, but it was a lot of hair. It's still a lot of hair. And she decided to take me to Under Pressure from her black friends.
Right.
You need to take her to a black hair salon. So they took me to this black hair salon. I was about 4. And they're like, oh, just leave her here. All I know is like a week later, I go to wash my hair and it will not curl up. Because these black women had put a perm in my hair.
They put the relaxing.
I didn't know what that was. My mother didn't know what that was. I just knew my hair would not curl, and I cried. Like for days I cried because just because you are black does not mean you know how to do all black hair types.
Right.
That's for sure. I had to learn how to do my own hair.
That is true. A lot of them
we ruin our hair. We don't get me started talking about hair, because I'm raising a little brown girl whose hair is down her back longer than mine.
Yeah, she got
right
some beautiful
because
hair.
because I treat it with respect, and I think in general, black people got a long way to go when it comes to treating your hair like with respect. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother conversation for another day.
That's a whole nother...
But and I know people will look and say, "Oh, you say that because your hair's..." Oh, no. My hair, it take a lot to comb through this stuff. It's a labor of love. I got it tied up right now, y'all, which is why we are not live. couldn't get my comb through it today, but but yeah, that's a whole nother thing. A lot of times we as black people, we think we know better because we are black,
right?
But it's never too late to be re-educated on many things. Nutrition, you know, the way we care for our hair and our skin and our men and our women. Everything. We can re-educate ourselves.
Absolutely.
Over and over. You know, it's good. It's good. And so this is really what I'm about and what the project is about too. Just like learning. Just learning through sharing and communicating, which is why I'm really supporting this radio show. Right. I've been telling Don Trella for months. I'm like, you really need to just focus on the radio show. Yes. I'm so excited. This is really, really exciting that we have this opportunity to talk and to share things. Yeah. Just because you come from different walks of life doesn't mean you won't understand each other.
Exactly. And that's another thing. We don't understand each other, but...
And just to circle back to the project and everything like that, that's why, like, my first show was the one that I saw in Gary, Indiana when we were in Chicago. And I appreciate it, and I love your show, and I tell everybody about it because as a poet myself, I've been to a lot of, like, erotic poetry shows, and it's just people getting up there saying what they have to say. Some people move the crowd, some people don't, and then that's it. But what I appreciate about yours is that there's stories, there's interaction, there's, you know, those taboo subjects that most people don't talk about, like men having sex with men, that, like, it makes you comfortable to explore that and learn something as well. Because, you know, as American society, not just black people, but as an American culture, sex is so taboo. And it's like, it's just something you just don't talk about. You're supposed to know what it is to do and just missionary and that's it. And we're only supposed to procreate. Whereas your shows basically are like, you can come, even if you're like that and you don't know, do religion or whatever, you can come and learn something and not feel ashamed of being educated on anything.
Your show was my first.
Really?
I had never been to one. Thanks, Don. Careless was all over the place, and I'm like, what?
Oh, yeah, she was still kind of like learning her way around.
I was like, oh my goodness. Your show, it was my first. It was a good one, too.
It's interesting because this is my 23rd year. So it's funny. Some of the people like saw it on Real Sex when they were just kids, like too young to be sneaking and watching it.
I was sneaking and watching it.
I was one
that was sneaking and watching because I remember it.
I don't remember what poem it was that you were doing. I just remember you like on this on this chair and you're like, and I rock. And
Punany Dream.
Look, I was like, oh my gosh,
that's
amazing.
Punany Dream.
I was like, this is amazing. Like, I was just, because I was definitely too young to be watching it.
And I wasn't watching it because I wasn't interested in guys. My little sister knew and some of my younger cousins knew, but I wasn't sneaking trying to watch any of that. I was the tattletale saying, oh, I'm going to tell. Y'all not supposed to be looking at that.
That's funny. What were we just talking about?
She was talking about the show and I like the kissing competition. I love the kissing competition.
That's definitely one of my favorite parts. I think my favorite part of any Punany show is the love confession.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, the love confessions. I straight have me in tears.
Yeah. So my background, just how I got here. Obviously, I grew up in foster care.
Right,
so
right.
With my broken heart, running around the world looking for love and acceptance.
Right. I think that's all of us.
Looking for love and acceptance. So thank y'all so much But when in high school, I was a sexually active teen. Had been raped when I was 15. So definitely is sexually active and curious about lots of things. And it was like 1986, and this guy named Ryan White had just been diagnosed with AIDS. And it was the first case in reported history of a hemophiliac getting it. And the first time they realized it was not a sexually transmitted disease, that it's actually bloodborne. And I mean, you can get it through sex, but that it wasn't exclusive to gay men.
Right.
It was like, oh my God. And I was like, oh no, like anybody can get it.
It scared a
like
lot
a
of
little kid
people.
got it. Like we were just like, oh my God, and people were getting it from blood transfusions and all this stuff. So this is really early on when mothers were still giving it to their kids and stuff. They've come definitely very far with the different treatments you could get, but back then it was, you could die with your skin falling off your back. You know what I'm saying? Like it was bad. So I wanted to do something about it, and I wrote this article, and this one guy did a counter article to it. I was a journalist for my school paper, and he was saying, you know, if you sleep with dogs, you deserve fleas. I'll never forget that he said that. Wow. Yeah, this guy.
That's deep.
Yeah, you sleep with dogs, you wake up with fleas.
You wake up with fleas.
Yeah.
I've heard that saying, though. I have.
And that was his position of judgment. And I told myself once I started this Punany project, in my mind, I started it really in high school because I knew, like, I was a virgin when I got raped. But when I started having sex, it was to kind of try to get my power back. So I had a period of promiscuity. For like a year. I remember just kind of like being kind of wild, and I knew I was tortured. I knew I was in pain. So when I started writing these articles about HIV and drugs and all these things and really being cutting edge with my pen, people started coming up talking to me. People that never spoke to me at school before, right? The cool girls.
Wow.
That happened to me. Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? So I learned in high school that all you have to do is talk to people. And if you talk about the difficult things and allow people to talk to you about the difficult things, there is so much healing in that. And just like, you know, I was going to church at the time. When I got raped, I was a virgin and wanted to be a preacher. So a lot of my speaking skills come from the church. Right. I grew up in the church. And so some of the things that happened in my show, I also got from the church. So love confessions is like when you're in church and the pastor says, stand up and give a testimony to God. And some old lady is like, honorable pastor, first giving on the God.
right.
To the usher board. Yeah. Right. And everything. And so I introduced that in my show, and I say, you know, now is the time you can give a love confession to the person you're sharing your life with. You will do this in church for a man you've never met. So get up and do it for the person you are with right now. Like it is the perfect time for you to give this love confession, right? And it's such a moving moment, you know, in the show. It really touches me. It's definitely that, and then the kissing competition is great too because it just doesn't get funnier.
Yeah,
more romantic. In the kissing competition, you could feel the temperature in the room raising, and people getting hot and bothered. You could feel it. See, the energy connecting, the
energy. Yes.
Yeah, and then as I meet people who do. Who have expertise in different things and do different things artistically, I can add them to the productions. I change things up, keep it fresh for a lot of our repeat clients. But this past year in studying energy, I found a lady in New York, or was introduced to a lady in New York named Nikki Morgan. So this past year, we also had touchless orgasm. I want to talk about the power of energy. This woman can make you have a total body orgasm without touching you, just by using energy. And it's like science. It's like a science.
And I witnessed it. I didn't believe it, but I went to an event. It was a small, intimate
It's amazing.
Event. It was about 12 of us in there. And
No,
I witnessed it. That lady was like, and the husband, he was scared. He wanted her to stop it because I guess he couldn't believe that it like was happening, and all she was doing was just whatever with her hand. And that woman was like, like, I mean, I'm serious. And I was going to do it, but then I was like, I don't
We
know.
know you're not going to even do it.
I thought about
Where
it.
is she going to be at again? Because she can touch
She was this past. She was this past season. She's still
Yeah.
available. She's still doing her work. Her name is Nikki Morgan.
Yeah, she in Baltimore.
or Nikki Morgasm.
I like
as they
that
call
better.
her. Yes, and she has a website which is The Touch Experience for anyone who's listening, who's interested in learning more about how energy
And
works,
it's real.
especially
I'm
in
telling
relation
y'all. I
to
witnessed
sexuality. It's really
I
like for
witnessed
real.
it.
This is why some things are considered pornographic because of energy. If you think about it, it's like we can show you something, right? If that something alters how you physically feel and makes you want to have sex, they consider that pornographic because it makes you want to have sex.
Makes you want, okay.
Right? Versus something that may not make you. I was going to get a book published, and Zane was publishing my book. She did publish my book, but it was going to be full color. When the publishers told her we can't publish anything with these erotic pictures in it in full color, in order to publish it without it being considered porn, then it has to be in black and white.
Wow.
That's why you see a lot of sexy books in black and white, because in color it's considered porn. Weird, right?
What?
Yeah, they got
Yeah.
interesting rules for what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. But it really is about energy when you think about it. It's like these things make me feel a certain way. So, like if you see homoerotic art, well, that would make a prudish person very uncomfortable because it's like I hate that because God is against that. And it's making me wet right now, and and it's bad. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you're pushing your thing on somebody else's thing. You're pushing your thing on it, and because that's how energy works.
That's
though
how
the
energy
fact that my
works.
stuff, can affect you in some type of way. My art can change the way you feel. That doesn't show you that people are connected. If we were not connected, it would not matter.
Right.
If we were not connected, it would not matter if somebody changes their sexual identity or wears a monkey shirt. None of that would matter. But we are connected in our spirit. Some people feel deeply moved, deeply disturbed, deeply affected by something else somebody may be doing halfway across the world.
Yeah. I agree.
I do too.
Yeah, energy is powerful, especially when you go into like meditation, manifestation. That's a part of, I'm sure, what she does, because they teach you when you meditate and focus on things, your mind is powerful. Pretty much your mind could manifest anything. So if I concentrate on something, on someone, for
metaphysical.
long enough, yes, the metaphysical,
The metaphysical orgasm.
I can push my energy into you. And then that energy, if I'm doing positive or negative, I can, focus on a certain area. I can do all of that. So energy,
And
it does connect us.
It does, and more to the point of this conversation, which is it ain't even got to be all scientific like that, or woo, sa 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 ka ka ka, whatever. It don't have to be all that, right? Really, people do it all the time, especially women. And player men do it all the time. You manipulate people's minds and their feelings and their emotions.
Yes, you do.
Just play you like a little. I mean, some people are really good at it, really good at it. You see a lot of ex pimps become preachers.
Yes,
for a reason. It's an art. There is an art to this thing, to understanding how energy works, to how you get people so. To where they believe in what you are saying so much that they feel it so much that they sign over their paycheck to you. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's absolutely crazy.
I think women, we definitely do that. Have you ever been in a space where somebody could just walk into the room and all of a sudden you're like, ooh, who is that? Where are they going?
I've done
or
that.
like you can just smell a scent and your
memory is just like, whoa.
Just go because there's
I have
something easy to do that way to manipulate and to vibe into
How much
that
cursing
space.
do this mind fuck piece got in it?
Did you just say the F word?
I did.
You better apologize.
I'm sorry. I think you know what I have to look back into that because was it one of those stars? It's somebody on iHeart, and I was listening to their show, and they was cursing on there. I think they could curse. I think it just might be certain words because they were cursing on there.
And
it was
like
one of those shows.
iHeart,
But it's a podcast, so I don't think. Well, you know what? We had cursed on here already. The most they could do is say, "Hey, don't do that no more."
I think we just have to put the moniker of explicit.
Yeah, explicit, because I do have that option on here to say explicit.
Need to say that.
So when I go back and before posting this, I will put the note because I could say explicit 21 or older, but
especially we're sitting here with the Punany poets, right?
The head doctor,
the
head doctor, and all this, and what she said, and the energies, and I may say anything.
Girl, you over there thinking, got your wheels turning. She trying to think about finding her a plaything. Like, she ready to go experiment on somebody.
She don't have to find. So Gina, I have 4 shows coming up in this area. It doesn't have any cussing, I don't think, except the title and maybe the last line.
Oh, okay, because I want to play it. So people was asking, was you going to do some poetry? They want.
Oh, yeah, I'll do some poetry. I want some poetry.
But you was just asking me a question.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, why don't we auction you? I was leading up to that yesterday with Millie, but she didn't look like she was going for it.
What you gonna auction me?
She been trying, girl. She ain't tried to auction me too. She tried to auction everybody.
I want to auction all y'all. Like we should do like a fundraiser. We have our nonprofit now, and we need to do something fun. And I was thinking, why don't we have like an auction date?
Off a date or something.
Okay, if we auction off this date does not include sex.
No,
it's just a date.
Well, I mean, if you want to, you're an adult, so you can make your own decision. However, we're not soliciting sex. So
we're not soliciting sex. It's a date only.
You guys are adults. You can do what you want to do after that. But.
Date only. If I do it, it's a date only.
Yeah, no, we'll have to figure out how to do it. Like, really do it. Like how they do it on the TV, and they be like,
"Who am I going on a date with?" It
whoever pays the most money.
Oh, y'all play too much.
They gotta donate. They gotta donate.
Whoever donate the most money. So you'll be
we're trying to get
like $50 for Gina, $75.
$150.
Yeah.
So Ray, and I had to go on a date with Ray.
Yeah.
It won't be no sex.
You might get Ray or Shaniqua.
No, that'll be a negative.
Right. That's what I said. I'm too picky for that.
But it's
we tried that at LE.
Did it work?
My Les Boys. We tried it. We had women that was
What's
interested.
What's up with your Les Boys? Where they at?
They all in Chicago. But when
Why you don't have no Les Boys here?
I'm working on that right now, aren't we, Brittany? Yes. We're working. We are working on it. But we tried that, and I guess we kind of messed it up because we kind of seen the ones beforehand, and we all.
Oh, you weren't supposed to do that.
Look, it's all a fundraiser. Money is money.
But I don't know. But we just didn't go. We didn't follow through with it. We got nervous.
But you know what I'm
saying. Yeah, we got nervous. I know what you're talking about, but we got nervous.
Because y'all looked at the candidates.
Yeah, not just the candidates. It was just certain things that they were saying. Like, they wanted to film it. We was going to get a whole cabin and go there that Saturday into that Sunday. We had it all worked out and planned out, and we had people interested, and we had a bunch of RSVPs, and people was like, okay, what can we pay for this at? What can we pay for this? But then we kind of chickened out, and my son, Mr. She's shallow.
Mr. So shallow.
Yes, she's shallow.
How y'all gonna throw Mr.
She's shallow. She
would tell you.
She's cute.
She's very cute, but she will tell you.
And she is no shame on her game. She
will tell you. She says, "I'm an asshole.
I'm an asshole, and I'm
shallow."
She'll tell you. She's gonna
tell you. Some people like assholes.
Well,
yeah.
Some people do.
I married a couple of them. I don't know what it is.
We all got, eventually we've all dated an asshole at one point.
Yeah, we talked about that last
week.
week.
Yeah.
Dating assholes.
That's something else, too. Like, some people really like to be treated badly.
That's sad.
Not really.
Like some
Yeah.
women like to be beat on.
Like
some women like to be beat on, like their partner or husband to jump on them and
like for real.
You type of BDSM.
Oh, for real, for
We're
real.
talking about like sexual. I think that's what
I
she was
thought you was
doing with
talking
that. But like,
Well, I know, yeah. For real, for real.
Oh yeah. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that they're a party in it.
Yeah.
That's what it is. They don't realize they're a party in it.
Wow. Well, we're gonna take a quick commercial break right here, and we'll be right back after this break. You got Mink, M-I-N-K.
So you like to be choked?
Oh yeah.
I like
You
to
like your hair
choke, but I
pulled?
don't like choking.
If I ain't wearing one of these wigs, you can pull it.
I'm so
Matter of
mad.
fact, pull it off. I don't care, and then pull
Really?
the braids.
Oh
somebody
Lord
just
Jesus!
commented and said, "Leave Mister alone. She is the truth. She keeps it real."
Yeah.
She keeps it
She
real.
keeps
We
it
just
real.
said
We
that.
just said that. She would tell
We
you.
just said that.
I love her dearly, but she's very honest and upfront.
She's so
you know,
honest and upfront.
she's a
not.
upfront.
She say, "Look at me. I'm cute.
Yeah.
What do I need to be with somebody like that for?"
You
Yeah.
need to get
Yes.
your boo thing and have your boo thing sit up here and donate the most
Change,
money.
you know,
and
it don't
then
fall too far from the tree. Listen what I said earlier about the dark skinned chick. Remember?
good
She thought I did not like her because she was dark skinned, but it was the bad weave, the unibrow she drawed across her face, the fact that her fingernail polish was chipping off.
What were you talking about?
I
I missed something.
Yeah, earlier we was talking, you know, we've been talking about colorism tonight, and I was saying earlier this one young lady tried to guilt trip me into dating her by saying I didn't want to date her because she was dark skinned, and I was saying I was trying to prevent from telling her the real reasons why, but she kept pushing me into that forbidden place, and people I don't know,
she
cancers
told her.
we are a-holes. If you push us, we gonna tell you. You never have to worry about where you stand with us. So I was telling her it had nothing to do with her skin complexion because she was not an ugly woman, and it had absolutely nothing to do with her skin complexion, but she had a bad weave job. I could see the track. It was nappy. Then she had what y'all call a Brazilian
The
something.
Brazilian hair.
Yeah. Then she had the unibrow where they draw the eyebrows across here. It was horrible. And then her fingernail polish was chipping off. So, you know, but I said I'm not shallow.
You didn't go out with the girl because her nail polish was chipped.
Yeah, honey, she needed a manicure.
And her tracks was showing.
See,
and she
should have had
unibrow.
all that in order before she
Before
tried
she
to come and date me or ask me out. You know.
But I've had people tell me I'm too. They don't date dark women. You're very pretty to be dark. That's so like degrading. Like dark skinned women
that's
cannot
very
be
degrading.
pretty. I've had that.
I usually date dark women, so.
I
You get no arguments with me.
I don't even know what to say.
Two
on
of my
that.
exes are African. I
don't even know what to say.
That
You got
understand.
you got lucky. You're.
Okay.
How
So
much did they pay you for this? No.
You wrong for that, Gina.
I never really been into light skinned people like that. I mean, I am light skinned, but I don't really date.
But
light-skinned
you're
people.
right. You normally
Well,
don't.
just because I never really met, I don't know. I was in some very long-term relationships, though. So
Yeah,
that's
12
probably why I
years,
didn't
16
really get a
years,
chance to date a lot. But I love a chocolate woman. No offense. Look, no offense. I love a chocolate woman. But I grew up in the 70s. You know what I'm saying? Like, they had beautiful images. That's the only thing that's missing now. Like, we had beautiful images of black women when I was growing up.
We did.
I was seduced
That's what I'm
by
saying.
that. I was seduced by the image of
I think I'm gonna do an image
of the Black Panthers. You remember the Black Panthers used to
Uh-huh.
be different versions of her. She was like our Madonna. She was like our
Yes.
our Mary Magdalene of the 70s, and she was on the basement wall at every place that we visited as a kid, pretty much in the velvet paintings and velvet posters.
Remember
on the walls.
those? We don't have those anymore.
We need that. How are these girls going to grow up respecting themselves if they're looking at black women who say, I'm beautiful, you need to love me, but you wearing somebody else's hair? And you wearing somebody else's nails and somebody else's eyes and somebody else's. How can you say I love myself if you walking around pretending that you are someone else?
That could be a good thing, though, and depending on the situation.
Okay, well, yeah, if you role playing, but to live your life in it to the degree that you don't remember what your hair feels like in your own hands is a little ridiculous.
Yeah, I do get what she's saying.
I do agree with that too.
No, I totally agree.
And it obstructs sex because you don't want nobody messing with your hair. And I like to get a fistful of natural hair and pull it. You know what I'm saying? Like
pull mask.
Yeah, that's a big part. That's
Y'all
a big
too.
part of sex. Like,
But I
your
do know-
hair. What?
No, I was just saying I agree with what you're saying because it was a young lady that I went out with and she was so made up that
It's
when
too
we was
much.
downtown and I literally, y'all, everybody already know I'm blind and can't see.
Oh my goodness.
So, and she was always made up, but she had to pay like, I don't know, a lot of money for this weave or whatever. So she decided to go natural and take the weave out. And when she told me she was going natural. She said, "Oh, I'm going to go natural," because I knew she was wearing a weave or whatever. But she wore so much makeup or whatever. Then when I saw her, when she came down, I was working at Channel 7, you know, that Chick-fil-A right there. I walked by her and she kept saying, "Dawn, you walking by me. You walked by me like 3 times. And you
didn't even know who she was.
I did not recognize her. She said, and y'all already know I can't see. I'm blind. Even though I have on glasses, I still have a hard time seeing sometimes. And I literally walked by her like 3 times and she was like, "Don't you move no more. Stand your little skinny on that corner." And so I stood there and she walked and I seen her walking toward me and I'm still standing there. She stood there. She stopped right next to me. And then it dawned on me after a couple of minutes and I looked and I started laughing. She said, "Oh my God, I really got to stop wearing makeup and stuff like that." And it was night. Most of the time when I seen her, it was in the evening too. So this was like the first time I seen her in daylight.
So did you like how she looked without the weave? And
Yeah,
her
she
natural
I'm
stuff?
natural. I'm a natural person. I'm not into the weaves and all of that.
So did y'all make a love connection?
No, we didn't.
You didn't give her none?
No.
She ain't gonna do it first. She's not gonna do it one night.
No, I knew
Can
her
we talk
for-
about whatever I want to talk about now?
We knew her. Can we do it right after this break?
No, I just want to.
Can we do it right after the?
I was about to ask Gina about her first time.
We're gonna do that after the break.
Yeah. Let's take this quick
Okay.
break right quick. And when we come back, we'll get into that.
You've seen them on HBO. Now witness the Punany Poets live on stage in Jessica Holter's School of Seduction. This Valentine show will satiate your mind, stimulate your body, and rock your soul with a special love potion of romance therapy, erotic prose, sexy short stories, and body poetry unleashing on stage in sexy vignettes, titillating sketches, and audacious audience role play. Laid on the perfect baby-making soundtrack by Dwayne Wiggins of Tony Tony Tone, falling in love again is as easy as ABC in 1, 2, 3. With Jessica Holter's School of Seduction. Enroll today, and you'll be on your way to your sexual greatness. Just get your tickets online at punanytickets.com and bring your lover or a very close friend for a night of sex education theater you'll not soon forget. Get your tickets online at punanytickets.com.
Mindfuck. The night has stolen your sleep. It's morning. Sister, you look kind of tight. Is that the weight of the world you're wearing? Take it off. Take it all off. Don't watch the clock. We will set time off course. Let me slide some oil down the curve of your mind and find heaven amidst your forsaken dreams for family, for labor, for life. We will take time to love. We will take time to give. Take the time to chill. We will take time and bend her selfishness to our will. There is no night, no noon, no day, no seconds, no minutes, no hours, only us. Objects of two souls' desires. And there will be no protection necessary, as we will neither kiss, nor lick, nor suck. My desire is to become infected with your story, your energy, your love. Tonight, my darling, we will mind fuck. Tell me your fears. Tell me of your heaviness. Speak to me of your passion. Reveal to me your heart. And if you feel the need to cry, let the wetness flow upon my strong hands, for I am more than your lover. I am your man. And when time finds her way back to the world, our minds will be climaxing.
Oh, talking about Punany. Oh, sweet, sweet, sweet.
You're tuned into the LE Radio Show. Follow us on Facebook, IG, and Twitter at Les Elegance Radio.
I was tending to and minding my business the other day, exercising a little foreplay on the proverbial nakedness of poetry when somebody choked the future out of her democracy, that lady of poetry. Somebody said the revolution would not be televised, but I got a cancellation notice on my two-way last night. As she spread before me, beckoning this writer's tongue to lap at her walls and drink from her well of words, I became immersed in the verse of her body's song. Her heartbeat embraced the rhythm of my breath, and we made music all our own. And in the crescendo of our melody, her prophecy came to me like an epiphany. Her eyes cried the song of late poets whose verses were heard only after the earth's consumption of their flesh. They said her soldiers were guilty of treason for leaving her on a battlefield far away to die in the enemy territory of Slam, USA. Her stretch marks mapped time traveled by bloodied feet of slaves. Her vagina exuded a tartness that hinted of crack baby graves. That lady of poetry, she made love to me. Till we were ugly. And we were pretty, and we were everything, and we were nothing, and we were only just beginning, and we were omega as we were dancing. We were soft, and we were gritty, and we were not one Punany, but many, many, many pieces of love and pieces of grief falling onto tear-stained pages of time's resistance. That lady of poetry. Her breasts were swollen with the hope of her dark past. Her hips curved gently into the full promise of her strong thighs. I tucked her hand into the shadow of my red locks, turned my mouth to kiss her palm. She traced my lips with a writer's crimped fingers and dug deeper inside me than any man ever could have. Somebody said the revolution would not be televised, but I got a cancellation notice on my two-way last night. They said in spite of our sex education, AIDS was still on the rise. And in spite of our determination, we are still self-victimized. They said in spite of our cooperation, we gorge ourselves with political rhetoric, thinking ourselves young politicians and become as the pig we claim to not eat, wallowing in the spoils of gentrification, no place to lay our heads, for we dread any place intrusive enough to call itself home. So we roam through knowledge unknown, forging forward on an escaped goat with empty pens as swords. They told me nonviolence took one in the face for the race to ambivalence, where the dollar defines our opinions. The Black Panther Party for self-defense was sedated heavily. Somebody said they found the Black Panthers dead, 3 blows to her head, sprawled on a bed with post-mortem levity. Yeah, if you ain't heard, somebody said the revolution was on her way when she was overtaken by a team of power thieves. Apathy the hater, civil rights the liar, inertia the indolent, cowardice the menace, and on the authority of welfareism. Her soldiers were herded into concentration encampments called projects, locked in square blocks between freeways for scientifically financial experiments, but everybody was just trying to forget getting high.
As ideals became dealing, guts became guns, children begat checks, got taxpayers upset, private industry flexed. Prison became an industrial complex, privatized timeshares for industry to clock in. Even Victoria's Secrets got stock in. The lady, I'm told, donned her rags to the track. Yeah, that lady of poetry took to the stroll to make herself whole, 'cause the revolution was canceled due to negativity. But I never told a soul, just opened up my door and let that gangster whore climb right on up inside.
You're live with LE Radio Entourage.
Searching for Punany.
Yeah. You found
it. You're tuned into LE Radio, formerly Les Elegance Radio. I'm your host, Don, joined here tonight with my executive assistant and host, Gina Boo, and program assistant, Brittany. Hello. Lady Poetry?
Yes.
Okay, because you sing my stuff. And our special guest joining us tonight is Jessica Holter. And and we appreciate everyone who has been listening tonight, downloading the app, tuning in. Big shout out to my mom, the greatest mother ever. She's listening to the show. She just support me, and oh my God, I love her so much.
Yes, yay, Mom!
I love her too.
The best mom ever. So go ahead, Jessica. You want to get into being over there in Gina's business?
I thought we could
about me.
I thought we could have a little fun. Your show is kind of new.
Yeah.
And Gina kind of new. So maybe we should get to know the ladies a little better. Okay. Let's start with the first time.
Yeah, y'all are. Because last year on LE Radio, I had
Nazenja
Sin. Big shout out to my co-host in Chicago. I had Truth.
Oh,
my son, Mister.
Yes,
I had
did.
Mickey, Black Fire, and my son, VJ. So, 2018, I'm down here in Atlanta, and I do have two brand new hosts.
Two brand new hosts.
Yeah, that the people who's used to Les Elegance Radio, now LE Radio, still LE stands for Les Elegance, of course. Still I have two new hosts that y'all have to get familiar with, because everybody y'all know the Chicago. Yeah, they very familiar with Les Boys and Chicago.
They are. Yeah.
So go ahead.
Chocolate. Tell us about
You know what, Jessica? Put me on the spot, right?
Tell us about the first time. Tell us about the first time you were with a woman.
The first time I was with a woman.
Now she gets low.
Wait a minute.
I was with a woman.
Okay, the first time I was with a woman, I was 15.
No, if they want to know my first time.
Yeah, I was 15, and she was she was about 18, either 18 or 20.
Mm-hmm.
And she had been coming on to me. At first, I really didn't know what she was doing at all. And I think I went up to her house, because we would go up to her house. She stayed with her mom, and I would be up there with her sister. And this particular time, her sister wasn't there, and neither was Mom. And she had sparked my interest. And I let her, I went along with it. And to my surprise, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. She was gentle. Mm-hmm. She was mind blowing. Mm-hmm. She taught me a few things, and I liked it. And but as society would have it, that's not what you do.
Right.
And I knew then that eventually I was going to end up with a woman. I knew then. But I got married not once but twice.
Mm-hmm.
And
twice.
It was twice.
Lord.
It was twice. And I didn't, because now you've opened up, like we talked about it. Right. She opened up some doors that was within me.
Right. We talked about that.
She opened up my eyes, and, I started seeing sex in another way. Mm-hmm. In another way that a man could not take me. He couldn't take me there.
You didn't find that it was something you could teach him?
I probably could have, but it wasn't what I wanted then. Oh. So neither marriage worked. Neither marriage worked. I knew what I wanted at that time.
Would you say it was your fault that neither marriage worked because you didn't want to?
It was my fault.
Be in it.
Mm-hmm.
Did you tell them that?
Wait now, with my last husband, he was like my best friend, and I was like, "You're gonna marry me?" Because I'm having some issues and some feelings, and he did it. He did it. He went ahead. We got married, but it didn't work. So that marriage, it didn't last long at all. And I've been with women ever since.
Oh, okay. So what brings you to this radio show?
She just flipped it. She up here interviewing, gone. Now don't have her busting me out again.
Well, now this is something you were gonna have to do eventually anyway.
Yeah,
so I'm just helping you out.
The excitement of it, I want to see. Yeah, I want to see where it goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you guys will be going live at some of the shows.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're gonna broadcast live from
Macon,
Georgia, Atlanta on Saturday, Secret of the Pearl, and Lake City on Sunday.
Oh, y'all just following us around like a stalker.
We gonna stalk you. We gonna stalk you.
Yeah,
all three shows are gonna be amazing.
Yeah, we could got
3
to some
different
of the other
casts.
ones. That's fine. You have Maha on Wednesday, Valentine's Day. Maha.
We have 3 different casts, 3 different shows. So Maha is, like I was saying earlier, they're doing School of Seduction, the housewife experience.
Ooh.
If you are married, if you are almost married, if you act like you're married but ain't really married, if you want to be married, if you want to bring somebody you want to be married to, this show is designed especially with your committed love in mind. We have lots of fun and games in that show. Lots of great writing and singing, and the focus is just to kind of boost your love life with that show, boosting the love lives of people who are definitely committed to each other. And that will happen here on Valentine's Day at the
on the 14th
at the Philip
Rush Center.
At the Philip Rush Center
on the 14th and
yes,
on the 17th.
It is open. If you are gay, you are straight, you still thinking about it, you don't know, you're polyamorous, you're
pansexual,
whatever.
everybody.
It's open to everyone, but specifically targeting people who are in committed relationships. Yeah, and then on Friday, we're being hosted by one of our partner organizations. She's also a member of HIP Inc., as is Ellie Radio. Yay.
Yep.
We are all part of the same nonprofit organization, which is based here in Georgia. So Millie Coleman of Southern Soul Arts is going to be assisting us with the hosting of our 2nd season of Secret of the Pearl, which is our lesbian show. Well, it's not really. It's for lesbians and women who love women. So even if you are a straight chick who just loves being a woman, any type of feminist, if you're a man who's a feminist, you are welcome to come. This show is a musical and poetry celebration of femininity and female energy and female sexuality. It is a real, I say when I watch the show, I feel like I've had some intense foreplay. That's what that show reminds me of, some intense foreplay. And then we have Karis Love Child. She's coming up. Boy, she's a rising star here in Atlanta. She's in a couple of the lesbian web series.
She?
Yeah, she's in Choices and Gay something. Dang, I forgot the name of it, but I think they're both on SBTV. I forgot what it's called.
Choices on SBTV.
Yeah.
And big shout out to Cherie.
Yep. Shout out to Cherie.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And so she's coming up. She's in a play tonight here in Georgia. So look out for those rising stars that are out here in Georgia. That show is led by Love the Poet. If you haven't had the opportunity to see Love the Poet, I'm going to tell you, she is amazing. A seasoned poet. Y'all lucky I can't cuss right here. Because when I say
she good.
She puts it the F down, like all the way down.
I got to see her
all the way down.
Year, Sex Down South.
Yes, weird. And she could talk about just about anything. So I'm really excited to see what her new material is this year, and I'm hoping she'll bring back some of her classics like Purple Door. Yes. Step by step, play by play, how to get a woman excited and take her there. She's like step by step instructional poetry.
I need to meet her.
She performed. But no, that wasn't at she was at Sex Down South.
Y'all gonna make me work. Ain't nobody gonna be able to handle me.
She's a little cutie.
She is. She's
a little cutie.
She doesn't identify as anything in particular, but if you had to call her something, you would say she looks a little androgynous. She's a pretty girl, and but really smart and powerful, and her convictions are solid. Is what I love about her the most. She got a birthday coming up next week. So hi, Love the Poet, if you're listening. And so those two are the headliners, and we've invited one of our dancing favorites to come back.
Who?
Annette Coquette.
Oh yeah.
Annette Coquette. She don't even know. She my little favorite dancer. Like she's a burlesque dancer by trade.
Oh.
So if you've had a chance to see any of this amazing burlesque art going on here in Atlanta, she's a really good dancer. She's married also. You know,
these married women coming up. They coming up, baby.
with the housewife experience here. Yeah, she's married to Chibi, who usually performs with her, but she'll be performing solo for Secret of the Pro.
On the 14th?
They were in the show last year. On the 16th.
Oh, okay.
In Macon, and then we will have a repeat of that show here at the Philip Rush Center on Saturday, the 17th, and then you have to wait till Sunday for my show. My show ain't for punks though. You can't come to my show. Like, if you really super vanilla, I would say start with School of Seduction. Get your ABCs of love.
Prepare yourself.
Why you gotta say vanilla, though?
If you're not ready for the head doctor, you know what I'm saying? Like, come. We got something for everybody, but this is for the graduated class right here. The head doctor show is for people who are unafraid to use their mouths for good. Whoa. So that is all you need to know about that.
Why y'all all looking at me?
Because I'm looking at that schedule and I'm like, yes.
I ain't afraid to use my mouth. I'm not afraid. I'm going to tell you that now.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
So what about you? When was the first time you kissed a girl and liked it?
I was actually 15 as well. And she was 36.
Whoa! Oh! You need a whooping.
No, she came on me.
She need a whooping. What's she doing messing with a 15-year-old?
You got me beat. You was 15 and she was 36. See, I was 18 and mine was 28. I thought I was bad with 10
I
years.
thought I was doing good with 20.
Okay, so disclaimer though, this was, I was in high school. I wasn't stacked like a 15-year-old though. I was stacked like a 25-year-old. And in this situation,
but still,
I did not pursue her. It was kind of one of those things that, I mean, honestly speaking,
you know, she would really be considered.
How did you even meet a 36-year-old woman at that age? Was she a teacher?
No, she wasn't a teacher.
A family friend. A friend of the family.
A friend of the family.
A friend of your mama's?
No. Oh my God, no, mom.
No,
she wasn't a friend of my mother's, thank God. But so how it happened was I went and we would sleep over and stuff, and I was the only one awake, and she came downstairs.
It always happens that way. See, like, people ain't.
Well, mine's dead.
And it was just. I was like, okay, I don't really know what this is. Because at that time, my only experience of sex was, my family, we talked about it, but not really. So at 15, I understood what was going on, but I didn't completely because it was a woman. So I felt like, okay, well, this can't be bad because she's a woman. Because my experience with sex at that same time, that same year earlier, my first experience with a man was through abuse, sexual abuse and rape and stuff like that. So I was at that point where she just kind of really took it there, but I didn't stop her. So she continued. And I wouldn't necessarily, like, at the time, now that I'm older, I was like, well, I guess it wasn't a good thing, that she did that. However, I didn't stop her. And it was just one of those things. So that was the first
wiping
time.
Wiping that head, Jessica.
Because it is not, like, I would never, ever try to say anything to take your joy and the joy of that memory from you.
It's not necessarily joyful in that sense, but that was the first time. Now, if we're speaking like completely joy, where I was just felt butterflies and everything else like that, that first time was awesome because we didn't do anything but that for hours. So it was just like, there was a lot of touching, but all it was that, and it was completely and utterly satisfying though, like, because it was just like, there's this thing that I enjoy this, because the time prior to that was with the older woman. So after that I was like, okay, this is cool, I like this is natural to me, like, I like this, how this feels, how this individual makes me feel, and the softness and the tenderness of it. So everything about it was just completely amazing, like mind-blowing to that effect.
How many people do you think, how many women do you think who are lesbians, like, came to it because they had a bad experience with men?
Well,
a lot of them.
I didn't have a bad, I have
And
no
neither did I.
experience with men. I have absolutely none.
I didn't have a bad experience. My brother used to try to justify it. He used to think that. And I'm like, no, never.
So I don't think.
Really?
Yeah, I don't
never.
think it's
I've
a lot
never
of
been
women.
molested. I've never been, nope.
No, I don't feel
At
that
all.
either. Not from my experience and just from people that I've been around. I have experienced though where I do think women who identify as stud or masculine identifier who might have been with guys before, they typically fall back on that, oh, I was molested. And I feel like a lot of those that say that they have not been. I think they use it as a default to, or as a defense mechanism to say why they had been with guys, instead of just owning up to it. Hey, look, at that time you was with guys and then you came into whatever.
Exactly, and a lot of them think that that's wrong.
Yeah, so that gives that preconception that a lot of women that are lesbians was abused by men, and that's so not the case. It happens, but a lot of the women that are lesbian, a lot of them, they with women because they choose to be with women, and some with women because that's just their life. Like me, that's just, I feel like I was born that way. That's all I've been with. But you do have, and you find that more with the masculine identified women than you do the feminine one. Those are the ones, and they could get pissed at me, I don't care, but those are the ones that typically always throw out the rape and the molesting.
But
part.
You are absolutely right. Instead
And,
of owning up to the fact that
even now, if they
wait, are you saying, I don't understand, are you saying that people will lie?
Yes, masculine identified women.
Yes,
they give this.
She's right.
They give this preconception that, oh, even if they get caught, like if right now, if they dating a woman and they get caught up with a man, the first thing they want to do is say, oh, he raped me or he forced me, I was drunk, I didn't know what I was doing. Instead of just being honest. If you're a bisexual stud, you're a bisexual stud. If you're a stud,
and
you've been
they're
with a
out
man
there.
before, you've been with a man
I'm about
before.
to leave that conversation alone. You about to piss everybody off right now.
But she's right.
People already know how to talk. They lie. I'm serious. Like some men lie on they D. And you got women out here who lie, and it's sad that they do that.
Did Don tell you about that lady from her?
Yeah,
that was the old job, right?
Which one?
Was that an old job?
What's the old job? I don't know what you're talking
when
about.
the lady came home, she suspected.
Oh no! It was a lady that suspected that her stud. It was a stud. She suspected that she was cheating. That the stud was cheating on her. The film did. And during that time that she suspected, and you know me, I'm asking like how? Because you know when a woman have sex with a man, it gives their vagina a different smell. A lot of people say, oh, that's just a myth. That is so not true. A woman that sleeps with a man, you could tell when he and put that little nasty sperm up in them, or his little whatever, his little thighs.
You can't call it nasty.
Well, okay, I can't call it nasty. I'm sorry to all my heterosexuals. I'm sorry. I apologize. Okay. But you could tell the difference when a woman been with a man. So she said that during the course of the time, the stud started not really wanting to be touched. Where in the beginning, it wasn't really an issue with that. So she was having a conversation with someone else, and the films typically put it together that said basically the no don't touch me's. I don't touch me's because of the fact that the don't touch me studs are bisexual and maybe engaging in sex with men, and so they not allowing, and I give them respect for that by not allowing their woman to touch them if they know that they ain't been down there. But anyway, in this particular case, she suspected that the girl was cheating. So when she suspected it, what she did was she had a schedule change. So the girl thought she was at work because the particular guy that she was hanging out with, which was kind of confusing because she thought the guy was gay. But the guy that she was hanging out with is the same guy that she was kind of suspecting that it was. Oh. So, and she, we just worked together. That's my boy. We went to high school together. That's my friend. Woo, woo, woo. So this one particular day, the stud did not know that her schedule at work changed. So she went home, and when she went home, it was on Facebook, the video not on Facebook now, but she went, and so when she went in the house, they did not hear in the house, but she heard them in there, so she cracked the door, and she had it on live, and she put the live video right there with the stud they butt ass, like,
I think
butt
I
ball
saw
naked, going in. So we all at work like, look, and this is why I don't have coworkers on my page, but everybody like looking like it was no shame in her game. But then, yeah, she put it on live, so she busted her out. So the stud is no longer on Facebook. I'm not gonna say no names, but her page is still. This was a while ago. She shut down her page, and of course, I would have shut it down too.
I would have too. Yes.
But we got a good little porn show. I mean, the stud was giving him head, and it's not the other video with the porn star. This is a totally different situation, and it was crazy. Yeah, but she put it on Facebook.
She has skills too. I was like, this ain't her first rodeo.
So just getting back to like, I just don't feel like, I feel like women that are lesbians, they are lesbians because they choose to be. It's not, some may have had issues with men in the past.
That's true,
yeah. But it's a lot out there that lie and say that they've been molested and this for whatever reasons. I guess they feel like that's justifying the fact that they with a woman and being masculine identified, which, that's what the vagina was made for. It was made to be penetrated. It was made to, do certain things. So
or if they have children, they want to say, they raped or something like that. And a lot of them may have had a man.
Is it because the lesbian community makes it, is it because the lesbian community is freaking judgmental?
We are very judgmental.
Like they can't tell the truth.
They will judge you if a woman decides that, if a femme decides that she's had enough with women and she finds her a nice man and she decides that that's where she's gonna go now because at the age she's talked about.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not uncommon. It's not like it's a bad thing because she chose to go back with a man or with a man. It's just that she's tired and she's at a certain age. You're looking for
to be settled.
To be settled.
Damn, what is
settle
up
down,
with these
and you're
females?
tired of just the bullshit that comes along with this. Because lesbians, I don't think we know what we want.
Women do not know what
we
they
don't
want.
know.
It's not
what
even
we
lesbians.
Want.
It's women.
It's women. And when we do know what we want,
it might change tomorrow.
It might change. Exactly.
Or if you're a Gemini, it might change in 2 seconds.
Exactly.
Or if you're a Cancer, it just change in 1 second.
Or if you're a Scorpio, you just, I don't know.
If you're with a Scorpio, you should live for the moment.
You should live for the moment. I say that, yeah.
Live for the moment.
Yeah, y'all very unpredictable.
Well, because we don't know what we're going to do tomorrow.
Y'all don't know what y'all going to do the next second.
I don't. I really don't.
No, but I think we're a lot more. Well, that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah,
it is.
I keep forgetting I'm on the radio.
Yeah,
but it just in my experience though, that's not my truth though. As far as like women and being sexual, because the situation that I was placed in, like surrounding that, it wouldn't be, because I mean, if I'm honest with myself, I've known since a long time that women held a different space with me than men. So I never fall back. But I've heard people say that, or or my homegirl, when she comes out, she's androgynous. Well, she's more of like a dom, a stud, or whatever. And I've heard men tell her like, "Oh, well, you're only like that because you ain't had the right man," or
get that
you
all
was
the
messed
time.
up, or they say things to her like that. I'm like, do people really believe that?
Really?
Yeah, I've had them say that to me, and I say, "How about I've never been with one and don't have no interest in it?"
Right, then they be sitting there.
Yeah,
But I
then
get
they
that
stuck.
so much. You just ain't had the right one. I'm like, okay, and so you're the right one? Really?
Yeah.
Get it all the time. All the
That
time.
makes absolutely no sense to me. None whatsoever. You know, people ask me, and honestly, even if I was to date a guy or try to date it, which it was on my bucket list at one time, I was like, okay, I think I might just try this, And then I was like, nah. But even if I tried it or dated, I still believe I would still like women. I don't think me going to date a man or have sex with a man would change how I feel.
I wouldn't either.
I don't think it's going to change anything, but it was times when I did question it, because like they were saying about their first experience, I met a woman when I was 16. She didn't mess with me while I was 16. She, hung out with me, groomed me basically till I got 18. So once I turned 18, and now she's 28, I'm gonna say groom me, because those first 2 years, I guess she didn't touch me, but at 18 you consider legal. So she groomed me, and then sometimes I do question, like, had I not experienced the things that I experienced with her and went with a guy first, would it have been different? Would it would have happened? But I knew that I was gay already, because I was like, 14, 15, and the first person I told was my little sister. She was like 11. She had no idea what I was talking about. She was clueless. She's sitting there with her little Barbie doll. She combing her hair, and I'm like, Danielle, I think I like girls. She was like, okay. And then I said, you not going to tell? No, I ain't going to tell. And then she was like, what that mean? I said, I just like girls. And then I said, what do you like? She said, I like boys. And she's still playing with the baby doll, but she never told, but she didn't, I would tell her stuff.
That's so cute.
I would tell her stuff, but she was 11, and at the time, that was the only person that I knew to talk to, even though she had no idea what I was talking about. Then I met this woman, and I was 16. So it was comfortable because she was the first lesbian that I met. So that was the person I was able to talk to and confide in about what was going on. Even though my family and my mama knew when I turned 18 and told her. She knew already, had been new. She asked me when I was 14. I said, no, I don't like boys or girls. I was playing it safe. I needed my mama. I was playing it safe. Right. But, yeah. So I do question, like, had she not been in my life, would I have done what everybody else typically do, go with the opposite sex because of society.
And then become a lesbian. And that's what a lot of studs do. But instead of admitting that.
But I'm thankful that I didn't have to go through that. And I'm thankful that I had a mom that didn't force me to say, well, you need to be with a man. Right. I want grandbabies. I want this. Go be with, So, yeah. So, I know I was already, because like I said, I was having conversations with my 11-year-old sister. So, yeah. So, that's it. We're about getting ready to wrap up the show. We got about 5 minutes left up in here. So, again, tonight, we had the amazing and beautiful Jessica Holter, the creator and founder of the Punany Poets. We're getting ready to close this show out. Do you know all your links? Because you got a billion links. I was going to tell the people how to follow you and everything.
So, yeah, pretty much everything you could possibly need is at punanylove.com. Punany is spelled Punany, love.com. punanylove.com. Pretty much has everything.
Yeah, it's also on www.leradio.org. If you go on there, it says right at the top. I think it says, yes, it's on there. And so is Hip Inc. Hip Inc. is on there as well. If you are not a member, please go sign up, become a member. We do have events here at Punany's Playhouse, but you have to be a member in order to get invited to those, because they are private events.
And they are fun.
Very
Yes,
fun
they
and
are.
interactive. And make sure to follow us on IG at LE Radio 2010 and on Twitter at LE Radio 2010. You have anything in closing, Brittany?
Just again reminding everyone that midnight tonight, which is only a few hours away, is the end of the discount tickets for all of these amazing shows that we're going to have.
Yep.
So again, we have The Secret of the Pearl shows that are coming up in Los Angeles, San Francisco, Seattle, Macon, and Atlanta. So again, Eventbrite is where you can go to get these tickets. So you have Secret of the Pearl, you have School of Seduction, and you have Jessica Holter, the Head Doctor show. You need to actually go to all three. So just make a weekend of it. Take your boo, and y'all just have just all this stimulation.
Right, because our 3 shows are totally
week.
different, and these shows are not recreated. So if you've been to one show, don't be like, oh, I've been before. You can still come again because it's going to be something totally different from your last experience. Gina, you have anything to close out with?
I'm done. I'm going on the website.
I think we for our next event at Punany's Playhouse, we are going to revisit our most popular thing from last season, which is the BDSM.
Okay.
So hopefully we can get
Look
Gina.
at Gina face.
What you want, Gina?
Hopefully we can get
Wait a
Gina.
minute. What you want, Gina?
Hopefully
to
we
do?
can have Dr. Nairobi. Hi, Dr. Nairobi. We can have Dr. Nairobi do
she
some
said she'll come back,
demonstrations
just
on
let her know.
Gina. And you did say you like a little choking and hair pulling, right?
She's gentle.
We
No,
got you
I ain't
covered.
gentle.
No, Dr. Nairobi.
Dr. Nairobi.
is very gentle, and she talk you through it. It's always good to talk. She talks.
Has she ever touched you? Oh
Yeah.
my God.
She touched me. It felt good.
When she touches you, it's weird. It's like you feel very comforted. Unnecessarily comforted. It's like she's only touching my shoulder. Why do I feel like I just
Yeah.
want to go to sleep right now? Like she really does like have a great touch.
Yeah, she does.
Okay.
So make sure y'all tune in every Sunday. We are here every Sunday live, 6 p.m. Eastern. Again, we appreciate all the support and all the callers that tuned in tonight. If you want to be a guest on the show, make sure you email Brittany, the program assistant, at the show at leradio.org. Okay?
Yes.
And we are out. Have a good week, everybody. Talk to y'all next Sunday.
Bye.
Oh, was I
Podcast is brought to you by HIP INC, an educational-based nonprofit arts collective where creative minds come together, share, and create art. You can become a member, donate, and sponsor by going to www.hipinc.org. Like them on Facebook at The Hip Team and on IG at hip_INC.